Oh yeah, is it Thursday already? Wow. What an insane episode of The Acolyte this week, episode 4. We got a lot to talk about. The Star Wars fandom has completely lost their minds, but the good news is it's still just the minority screaming louder than everybody else. We're going to talk about all of it. Ki Adi Mundi, who's under the mask? Is it Kimir? The greatest possible, creepiest entrance in Star Wars ever, in the biggest cliffhanger we've had in quite a long time. What's up, everybody? It's Mike, the guy who loves Star Wars. How's everybody doing on this fine Thursday afternoon? Wow. Do we have a lot to talk about today, as the Star Wars fandom has seemed to have lost their minds. After quite an incredible episode, I personally believe, quite an incredible episode of The Acolyte show, we might have actually lost our minds this time. It might have all come to a peak. We might have been, the hate train has been cruising to the station, and we might have arrived. We might have arrived, as this is absolutely just bonkers. But let's talk about it. Let's have some fun. Let's remember to have some fun, because we're talking about Star Wars, which is a made-up universe that is supposed to help you escape your everyday life. But we'll get into that. Oh, we will. Oh, we will. But let's start on a positive note. Let's rate this episode out of 10, chat. What do you think? Episode 4 of The Acolyte, rated out of 10 right now. Just as you're coming in, let's rate this episode out of 10. Let me open up the chat so we can say hi to everybody as you do that. Brandon Baker, what's up? UV Clips, how we doing? Star Wars Politics in the house. Navarro, what's up? Tiffany, how we doing? Maria Navarro, oh, I already said Navarro. Vegas Gamers, what's up? Abby, how we doing? Dustin Kennedy with a new profile picture. Jack, how we doing? Joseph, what's up? J1DRZ. Matt, how we doing? Cole Rita in the house. Brian Lynch, what's up? Martha, how we doing? Jedi Hangouts, what's up? Tony, Brady, Shadow King, Art. Did I hit everybody? Tony, other Tony. Did I hit everybody? If I missed you, just yell at me in the chat, and you know the deal. All right, rank this episode out of 10 if you're just coming in now. What did we think of episode 4 of The Acolyte show? If you see my breakdown, you know I gave this episode a 9 out of 10. I've rewatched this episode 4 times now. 4 times. We watched it live once. I watched it immediately after our live stream for a second time for my breakdown video. And then I watched it 2 times yesterday. And I must say, it is by far my favorite episode of this series so far. It's just amazing. Not just the finale. I mean, not just the cliffhanger ending, though. It was everything leading up to that, which was great as well. But we'll get into it. It's not only my favorite of this season so far. I think it set up possibly the best episode that we've seen in a while when it comes to Star Wars. And I'm not talking like better than Ahsoka, because you guys know how I feel about Ahsoka. But I think episode 5 could give us the possibility to see something incredible. But we'll get into that. Joseph gives it a 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 9, 8, 10, 10, a lot of 10s, 9, 6, 6, 10, 6. What's up, Mike? Starship 66, what's up? 10, 7, 6, 9.5, 6, 7, solid 8, nice, 9, 10 for the cliffhanger, solid 9. All right, let's do this. Let's start up a poll, because if you haven't liked the stream, what the hell are you waiting for? What the hell are you waiting for? Smash freaking like on the stream if you have not yet. But let's start up a poll. What did you think of The Acolyte? Acolyte episode 4. Did you love it? Did you like it? Like it? Were you like, meh? I mean, it's all right. Meh. Oh, that's meh. We want meh. Or did you hate it? Where are we at? Let's start this poll. Let's see where we're at. Where are we at, chat? I give this episode a high, strong, positive 8.5, but closer to a 9 out of 10. Nice. Tiffany says, I wanted to see Kelnacca put up a fight, but this episode is one of the best so far, in my opinion. I agree with that. It's so great to see Master Smiley. I know. Okay. I love it, but why do people complain about Ki Adi Mundi's cameo? All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the 6 trillion pound elephant in the room, and that is Ki Adi Mundi in the Acolyte show. So we actually talked about this on the live stream before the episode aired. We were talking about this at 2 p.m. before the 9 p.m. release. We were talking about, can Ki Adi Mundi be in the show? One of you asked me, I don't remember who it was, shout out to you, but one of you asked me, could Ki Adi Mundi be in this show? And I was like, I don't know. I choked and I died, apparently. I said, I don't know. Could he? And then we looked it up. And let's do the same thing. Ki Adi Mundi's age in Star Wars. And we looked it up. And this is what happened. We went to Wikipedia, which we'll get to that too. We went to Wikipedia and we saw this. Oh, wait, hang on. Hang on. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do this. Let me do that. All right, that's much better. And we saw this. Ki Adi Mundi was a Force-sensitive male, blah, 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 blah. Here we go. Born in the year 93 BBY. Interesting. I thought the Acolyte took place 100 years before the Phantom Menace, which also is not true, but we'll get to that too. 93 BBY, which would not make him old enough to be in this show, and he dies at 19 BBY, which is during Order 66. But then you scroll up and you go, hang on, Mike, there's something wrong here. We've selected Legends. This is not Legends. The Acolyte is not a Legends television show. This is Star Wars canon. And when you come to Star Wars canon, there actually isn't one. Ki Adi Mundi was a Force-sensitive, same deal, blah, 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 blah. He has a death date, still 19 BBY during Order 66. He does not have a birth date. He does not. And in Star Wars canon, he hasn't had one thus far. So the whole conversation going on here is that Legends is better than canon. I'm a little bit confused by this, and I think you guys can help me out. Legends is a world that not even George Lucas saw as a reality. Yes, it's a lot of fun stories. There's some really cool stories in Star Wars Legends. Think about it. You got the Old Republic is technically still Legends. So all the KOTOR games, all that is still Legends. Technically, some characters have been mentioned in canon, so they exist in the canon of Star Wars, like Darth Revan. But a lot of those characters and a lot of those stories are still Legends. Then you have video games like Star Wars The Force Unleashed with Starkiller. Starkiller is a fan favorite character, and yet he's Legends. Vader never had an apprentice named Starkiller in Star Wars canon. And if you really look at Starkiller, he can't be canon because he forces a Star Destroyer out of the air and splits it in half. He also kills Han Solo and Chewbacca and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So how can he be canon? He can't. He's Legends. Then you have other crazy Legend stories after the original trilogy with Luke Skywalker forcing a black hole, shifting it across. Like, there's some insane stories in Legends, and yet they can't become canon because they're just too ridiculous. They're too out there to have anything to do with the current canon storyline. So to say that something Legends can't be changed to something canon is absolutely insane. We've seen it happen time and time and time again. Look at Grand Admiral Thrawn in The Mandalorian right now, or the Mandoverse, I should say. He's in Ahsoka. But he was in Star Wars Rebels first. But he was a Legends character first. He has the Heir to the Empire trilogy, where he goes to Mount Tantus. He finds Joruus C'baoth, a Force-sensitive cloned Jedi. He creates a Force-sensitive clone, Luke Skywalker, to fight against Luke Skywalker. He has a salamander thing that sits on his shoulder that repels the Force. It makes it impossible to use the Force on him. He becomes the heir to the Empire. Now we're going to see a very similar story play out in the canon of Star Wars, in the Mandoverse, in Ahsoka Season 2, in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie and all that other stuff. But it's not going to be the exact same. You're pulling aspects from Legends and altering them. Now the biggest thing with me, for me, about this Acolyte show is the nitpicking. Are you kidding me? The fact that Ki Adi Mundi might not have been this old at the time of the Acolyte in Legends? It's what? It's going to take you away from this incredible episode we just watched? Here's my biggest thing too. Now, again, it's still Legends, but 93 BBY. Everybody is saying that this Acolyte show takes place 100 years before the Phantom Menace, and that is wrong. It's just straight up wrong. Watch the show. The opening scroll of this of this Acolyte show. Let me see if I can get it, actually. The Acolyte opening crawl. The opening crawl of the Acolyte. Oh, I got it. Okay, cool. The opening crawl of the Acolyte looks like this. 100 years before the rise of the Empire, in a time of peace, the Jedi Order in the Galactic Republic... Why is it so small over there? The Jedi Order in the Galactic Republic have prospered for centuries without war. But in the darkest corners of the galaxy, a powerful few, blah, 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 blah. 100 years before the rise of the Empire. That does not say 100 years before the Phantom Menace. It actually doesn't really specify a year at all. So you're just guessing with these dates at this point. The rise of the Empire? The Empire technically begins on Empire Day, which is Order 66. That's not the Phantom Menace. The Phantom Menace takes place over 20 years before that? Or no. 15 years? 13 years? Anakin is 9 in the Phantom Menace, right? And he's 22 when he turns to the dark side in Order 66. So 13 years, right? Right? So now you're already talking 13 years off. All this to say that Ki Adi Mundi doesn't have a birthday in canon, and he does in Legends. And the biggest complaint about this episode is that his Legends birthday isn't the same as his canon one? What are we talking about here? Is this not Star Wars? Is this not the fun place we go to escape and have enjoyment in life? Ki Adi Mundi is a cool freaking Jedi. They brought him back into canon. They can't do it after Order 66 because he's freaking dead. They brought him back before, in the Acolyte show. Sure, they changed his date from Legends. You know what else they changed from Legends? The entire story of Grand Admiral Thrawn. The entire one. I don't know what we're talking about here. I don't know why this is even a topic of conversation. How is Ki Adi Mundi being in the Acolyte a problem? I guess I missed it. And the whole attack on Wikipedia is absolutely insane. People are attacking the people trying to tell them that they hope their dog dies? What? What has this come to? How has this fandom gone so far that we are attacking people online for what they like and dislike in the Star Wars universe? Have we lost our minds? Have we lost our goddamn minds? I like the Acolyte. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. If you love the Acolyte even more than I do, that's perfectly fine too. I'm at a point right now where the Acolyte, it's not better than The Mandalorian, it's not better than Ahsoka, it's not even better than Andor for me either. However, we're only 4 episodes in, and right now we're on this crazy cliffhanger where episode 5 could put us over that edge, where it could be in the same realm of those shows. I'm not saying it's close, but it could get there. And we're sitting here in an absolute war in comment sections all over social media because people think that their perspective, their opinion on Star Wars matters more than somebody else's? This is ridiculous. This is absolutely bonkers. People have lost their minds, and we have to remember one thing. And that's why we're not going to talk about this, or we can talk about it for the rest of the stream, obviously. But we're going to talk about it in a civilized manner because that's the idea of this entire channel. I created this channel to create a space where we can talk about Star Wars in a place where we're not fighting. I can love something, I can hate something, and you can have a differing opinion as me, and we can have a civilized conversation in this somehow war zone of a Star Wars fandom. How did it come to this? If I didn't like the Acolyte, I wouldn't be sitting here yelling at people who like it, telling them that I hope their dog dies. Have we lost our minds? So with that in mind, let's talk about this Acolyte episode 4. Shall we? Shall we? Oh no.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I loved the episode. I must say, it's my favorite episode of the show so far. I give it a 9 out of 10, which is extremely high because I'm so high on this show. But let's talk about something extremely important, and that is the cliffhanger ending. A lot of fans are kind of upset about this. They wanted more. That's how a show's supposed to work. They want you to come back next week to watch more. But we actually have, from the writers of this episode, an explanation as to why this cut so abruptly right at the beginning of this insane fight in the forest between 8 Jedi and our Darth Zipperface. We have an explanation from the writers. So let's take a look at this really quick. Yeah, here we go. So, the Acolyte Episode 4 writers address short run times and the appearance of the dark side characters. Let's read this. Let's read this really quickly, and then we shall talk about it. Disney Star Wars loves giving cliffhangers. It's more so that, yeah, it's TV. In TV, you want cliffhangers so that you have people coming back for more next week. That's sort of the deal. That's why they do that. But that's true. Okay. The co-writer behind Episode 4 of The Acolyte, Claire... Not even going to try. Claire took to X, formerly known as Twitter, to explain certain points of contention and questions from viewers of the show. In her response, Claire said why the episode was shorter than the others and whether or not the appearance of the dark side character contradicts previous stated lore. So let's talk about it. Spoilers for Episode 4 ahead. Claire, who was involved as a writer for the next week's episode as well, stated that this week's episode had to be cut short because Episode 5 needed to be longer. Even though Claire acknowledges viewers' frustrations, she explains that it's the most natural cutoff point between Episode 4 and Episode 5. Keep that in mind as we read this right here. This person on Twitter said, I hope I don't sound rude, but if I may ask, are they mandating? I can't read English. Are they mandating y'all to keep these episodes short? Wish they were longer like the other streamers. So what he's talking about here is other shows like House of the Dragon or The Boys or just shows on Netflix or HBO in general. They're usually about 40 to an hour. In Star Wars shows are usually about 30 to 45. So it's just on the shorter side. And a lot of fans have had this complaint, and it's a valid one. Why are these episodes so short? And Claire's response was, we wrote this one and next week's together. Episode 4 and Episode 5 are written as one. And they kind of had a total ballpark limit for both, meaning the story itself had this limit because there's 2 episodes. The 2 episodes had to be a certain amount of length of time. And that's the limit that they had on it. For reasons, in italics, reasons, next week's had to be the longer one. So this one had to be kept short. And they also said in parentheses, I think this is the shortest of the 8 episodes. Don't quote me on that, though. So we might have just watched the shortest episode so far. And it was, 30, 35, 36, or 33, 34? Hang on, Let's see. It was 35. So 35 minutes might be the shortest episode of the series total. But that means the next week's episode is going to be on the longer side as we keep reading here. This person said, I like the episode until the ending. A very unnatural cutoff point. People also said this too. Hang on. People also said this too. That it was an unnatural cutoff point as the battle just sort of begun. And this is what Claire said. I know, it's a killer, but it was the most natural place to end. You'll see when next week's episode comes out. So obviously we haven't seen Episode 5 yet, and we have no idea what she's referring to. But I believe that Episode 5 might be this massive, and I mean massive, lightsaber duel. If you guys remember what I was talking about a few weeks ago, the rumor of there being this 20 to 25 minute giant lightsaber duel that rivals duels like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul and the Phantom Menace. There's rumors that some lightsaber duels in this show are going to be that good. And I honestly believe that this fight between these 8 Jedi and our Darth Zipperface might be that fight, or at least one of them. As it might be really long, as we've seen in trailers, Jeki have a one-on-one versus Darth Zipperface with 2 lightsabers, one being Kelnacca's, and Soul having a one-on-one versus Zipperface as well. Why they're going one-on-one and not 8-on-1, I don't know. But I think we're going to see a lot of those Jedi die. Now, the big question I asked to you guys is, do you think they will all die? Is Master Soul, Jeki, Yord, all the main characters of this show going to die? I personally don't think so, but it's a possibility. You never know with this show because they have introduced all these brand new characters, and they could just die at any moment. No. I'm seeing a lot of no's. They did bring 5 new Jedi characters that we haven't really been formally introduced to yet. One being a Kel Dor, which is not Plo Koon. A lot of fans have been a little bit confused about that. That was not Plo Koon. We were all wrong. I was wrong. I can admit when I'm wrong because it happens fairly often. What do you mean? I'm always right. No, I take it back. No, I was wrong. 100% I was wrong. It was not Plo Koon. I don't know why they tried to hide this character so hard in the trailers. It's not Plo Koon. It is a character named Ithia Pan. And huge shout out to Star Wars for coming in to chat before the live watch party. If any of you were here for that, the official Star Wars YouTube account came in our chat and gave us some exclusive knowledge about the Acolyte show. It was pretty wild. Also indirectly told us that Kelnacca died in the episode by not telling us that he didn't. But they told us that it's a character by the name of Ithia Pan, played by Barbara something. No spoilers. Yeah, no spoilers. But it's likely that character, the Plo Koon looking character, and the other 4 random new Jedi are all just cannon fodder. They're all just there to die to Darth Zipperface in the forest, to make this character look very powerful. Just like when Mace Windu goes to confront Palpatine in his office, and he brings 3 Jedi along with him. One of them just happens to be Kit Fisto, who's a fan favorite character, but they all end up dying, including Mace Windu, but they all die very quickly to prove immediately that Palpatine's just that powerful. He kills 3 fully trained Jedi Masters like it's nothing. And that's kind of what I think's going on here with those extra Jedi that we see in Episode 7 at the end. Episode 7, what the hell? Episode 4. All right, hang on, we got some things to get to here. Let me open up the chat because I haven't really seen much of this. Vegas Gamer with a very generous $2 holla, goddamn, says, impression. Can you do an impression of Darth Zipperface? What he said to Kelnacca before he died? Well, we don't know what he said to Kelnacca before he died. And Zipperface is a man of very few words. So here's my impression. I'll do a joke impression. I'll do a truthful impression or an actual impression. My impression is this. Because the guy doesn't talk much. We heard him talk in episode 1, but it was a voiceover. He didn't say a single word in this episode. He just walks right up to Osha, ignites his lightsaber, and then flicks her to the side and force pushes all the Jedi. He doesn't say a single word. So I'm guessing he probably didn't have a conversation with Kelnacca either. I'm sure that didn't happen either. But Zipperface, I don't know. We only heard him say the he's got a voiceover thing. I can try. Hang on. Let me see if I can hear his voice first. He speaks in one of the trailers, right? Is it this one?
The Jedi live.
Here we go. The Jedi live in a dream. Here we go.
The Jedi live in a dream.
Why is that so laggy? Hang on. Why is that so slow?
The Jedi live in a dream.
Stand down!
I didn't do it!
But an acolyte kills the dream.
This is nearly impossible. He has a voice modulator on. How am I supposed to recreate that? Hang on. I'll try.
The Jedi live in a dream.
Oh my god. The Jedi live in a dream. I can't get my voice down. The Jedi live in a dream. I can't do it. But I appreciate the $2 holla, Vegas Gaming. You know I do. And Mr. B. Barian, welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars, Mr. B. At the night level, I appreciate that quite a bit. If you guys are not yet a member, become a member. It's the greatest way to support the channel, and you get a cool little thing next to your name, and you get instant access to giveaways. It sounds like a dark Yoda. Damn. Well, at least I tried. At least I tried. They should have casted me. Yeah, I would have been a great voice for Darth Zipperface, for sure. Yeah. You know that was bad? Damn. That hurt my feelings. Okay. Let me scroll up here in the chat so we can see what you guys are talking about. David says, I really enjoyed this episode. Had a great past 2 days talking about who Zipperface might be with my daughter. That's awesome. Tell her and yourself to stay off the internet because people, for some reason, the conversation is not who is Darth Zipperface, which we will get to in today's stream. But the conversation is completely switched to this show and how it affects the canon of Star Wars, which is a conversation that should happen. But it's not even about reality here. We're not even talking about truthful things. And what's really sad is you have bigger Star Wars creators that have a platform to sort of express positivity. Not even if they don't even like the episode, they can do it in a way that doesn't put down other people. And that's sort of and not lying to them at the same time. That's the biggest thing. Yeah. Jack says, I hope the next episode will be a long battle with Zipperface. I think it will be. I think it will be. The Acolyte is 132 BBY. Is that confirmed though? Hang on. We can do a quick Google search. When does the Acolyte take place? Let's see it, Wikipedia. What do you got? Nothing. Yeah, no, it just says, wait, what? Doesn't even have a time. The 132 years is just coming from people doing the math off of the back end of the Phantom Menace, starting from the Phantom Menace. But it doesn't say that it takes place 100 years before the Phantom Menace. It says 100 years before the rise of the Empire. I mean, you could technically say that the start of the rise of the Empire started when Palpatine was born, or you could say it started when the Clone Wars began, or you could say it started when, like, there's no really set date for that. And there still isn't one on here. Order 66. Again, Order 66 is when the Empire started, but it's not like the rise of the Empire. According to the opening scroll, 100 years before the rise of the Empire, which is 119 years BBY. Exactly. And that's 23 years off of what Chris just said. Or, sorry, William just said. We're all over the place. Sky High says, ask yourself this. Would a good show require this much defending? I'm not defending anything. I'm absolutely not defending anything in the slightest. I'm more so explaining what's actually going on here. Because a lot of people are just lying out there online. And the problem is that some people have a big enough platform that whatever they say, people are just going to believe. And when they lie to the fans, it becomes a big deal. And that's sort of the deal. I'm not defending this show at all. I think this show is fantastic. It doesn't need defending. If you watch it yourself, I think you'll probably see what I see. And if you don't, then that's perfectly fine. I'm only defending the lying going on in the Star Wars fandom. Very similar to the big interview that was going around with Amanda Steinberg. Have you guys seen this? People saying how she went on wherever and was talking whatever interview, and she was talking about how white people are going to hate the Acolyte show, or white people are going to be crying when they watch the Acolyte show. I'm sure you guys saw that. That was a completely taken out of context 7 years ago interview from Amanda Steinberg talking about a very serious issue at the time and not at all the Acolyte show. So it's just the lying in the Star Wars fandom that I'm just completely sick of, and it's just sad. It's really just sad. You need clicks that badly that you're just going to lie to the entire Star Wars fandom? You have fans out here that are believing every word that these people are saying, and it's just a lie. It's just sad. It's really sad. So I'm not defending this show at all. I don't need to defend this show at all because it doesn't need defending. I know there's so many of you in the chat right now that, I mean, I just asked you guys to rate it out of 10. We had 9s and 10s and 8s all over the place. right now, currently, the majority of you loved this episode. I don't need to defend shit. This show is good. And if you don't agree with me, then that's perfectly fine. And I don't have to convince you otherwise because you're not going to change your mind. You know? You know? I can guarantee you one thing. When all of you, all 110 of you that are currently watching right now, clicked on this stream, you had an opinion about this Acolyte show before coming here, whether you liked it or not. And whenever the 110 of you leave this stream, that opinion is not going to change. You're going to have the same view on this Acolyte show, whether you like it or not, and that's perfectly okay. I'm not here to convince you one way or another. I'm not. If you like the show, great. If you don't like the show, great. To each his own. To each his own. That's not English. Anybody can see this show as they want to see it. If you like it, you do. If you don't, that's fine. And I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just here to get hyped up about Star Wars. The name is a guy who loves Star Wars. I'm not here to try to shift your judgments on the world of Star Wars. That's not at all what's going on here. We're just here to have fun and talk about it. Because we got a massive cliffhanger that I want to talk about. That's the deal. That's the deal. Mr. B says, in today's climate, the best show in the world would what? Oh, divide the fandom? Oh, 100%. 100%. The problem with the current state of this world right now is anything good needs to be shot down. For some reason, anything that's so big and so good needs to be shot down. We had the example literally last stream. We talked about this on Tuesday, I believe. We talked about Taylor Swift. Any Swifties in the chat? We talked about Taylor Swift. Now, like, she's enormous. You either like her music or you don't. Who cares? You either watch her concerts or you don't. Who cares? She's enormous. But people, lots of them, are making money off of crapping on her because of the discourse, because she's so big. It's the same thing with Star Wars. It's the same thing with everything. Whenever there's something really, really good, people like to crap all over it. All over it. Jack says, I hope that the next episode is a long battle. I hope so too. I do too. Indeed. I was hoping we were going to get this battle in this episode. Me too. I was a little bit bummed out, I must say. The cliffhanger ending, it got me excited for this fight next week, but my first reaction was no. No. Don't do that. Don't stop this episode. I want to see more. I got to know how the hell Darth Zipperface floats in like he's Count Dooku from 2003's Legends Clone Wars episode, floats down into the scene and just flicks Osha off to the side like it's nothing. And then just force pushes 8 fully trained, or some fully trained, Jedi Masters, Padawans, a mix of a few, fully trained Jedis. 8 of them. And just pushes them like it's nothing. Nothing. Who is this guy? How is that possible? Ben, what's up? Dead Mike? Oh my God. Am I dead? Dead Mike, what's up? Says, I like this fresh take on the Jedi. People are clutching their pearls. Wait, what? I like this fresh take on the Jedi. People are clutching their pearls. I don't really know what you're referring to, but yes. Yeah. Darth Lopez, what's up?
Hello there.
Do I think Soul will die? Okay, let me ask you guys. Do you think Master Soul is going to die in this fight in the forest? I am leaning towards no. I think he's too main of a character at this point to die in this forest in episode 5 with 3 episodes remaining. I don't think so. But at the same time, you'd probably say the same thing about Qui-Gon Jinn, and he dies at the end of The Phantom Menace. So, and he's a very similar character to Qui-Gon Jinn, so he might go down a very similar path, as is he dies, and then his death sort of is a catalyst to how the back half of the season goes. So it's a possibility. It's definitely a possibility. But I'm leaning towards no. I'm definitely leaning towards no. I think Jecki, Yord, we just sort of met these characters, and there's no way that they're all going to die in the forest. Yeah. Zipperface dies? That's interesting. So will the Sith Lord, or Sith Lord, that we just got introduced to in the forest die? He is going up against 8 Jedi, and if I were a betting man, which I'm not, I'd probably take the 8 Jedi. Now, I know we just saw him force push all 8 back like it was nothing, and we saw him easily just dismantle Osha. But I still think that he might die. What do we think? What do we think, chat? Should we pull this up? I want to pull this up. We got over 150 votes on this other poll. Let's pull this up. Let's pull it up. All right, let's do this. Will Darth Zipperface die in the next episode? Yes or no? Do you think he'll die in the next episode in the forest? I think it's a very high possibility because this is not Plagueis. This is not Tenebrous. This is not really anybody of any significance to the greater story, so to speak, of Star Wars. He's probably the apprentice of either Plagueis or Tenebrous, which is cool. And he's clearly very powerful. That's what we're led to believe, at least right off the bat. But he could die. He could easily just die like that, and then it be revealed that there's something greater going on here. As was explained by Vanestra Rowe in the last episode, there's something bigger going on here. And it's not just May. It's gonna be May. No, it's not just May. No, it's not. But there's a bigger thing going on here. And what was really cool about episode 4 was that the Jedi never once thought of the Sith. Now the Sith, you have to put yourselves in the Jedi's shoes. At this point in time in the Star Wars timeline, the Sith haven't been around for at least 800 to 900 years. So there's not a single Jedi at the Jedi Temple right now that has ever come into contact with a Sith Lord. So it's like a giant game of telephone. So for generations in the Jedi chambers, in the Jedi Council, in the Jedi Order, people have been telling other Jedi about the Sith, but it's so far gone now that they've forgotten. They know about the Sith, they know that they existed at one point, but it never once comes into their brain that this might be the Sith returning. They talk about splinter orders, which is like Jedi who leave the Jedi Order and start their own Jedi Temple, kind of, or their own Jedi Order, or their own offshoot Jedi Order. And they think it could be anything but Sith. Even when Sol is fighting May in episode 2, he's like, "Who's your master?" He's never thinking that it's a Sith Lord. But now things have changed. Now things have changed drastically from the beginning of episode 4 to the end of episode 4 because they've come into contact with a red lightsaber wielding, mask-looking, crazy, creepy Darth Zipperface. And 8 Jedi have. Now, even if 1 or 2 or 3 Jedi come out of this alive, they're going to tell the rest of the Jedi Order what happened. They are. Now that becomes a bigger issue. Because now you've seen who the master is. You've seen the red lightsaber wielder. That becomes an issue. Yeah. Connor, what's up? It'd be cool to see Vanestra Rowe's lightsaber whip in the lightsaber duel. Well, Vanestra Rowe does show up on this planet. She's on Kofar. We saw actually the same location that she is in the trailer in the last episode. So she comes at some point, but that's during the day. So I really don't know if Vanestra Rowe is going to be in this fight with Zipperface in the forest. I actually don't think she will be. But it is interesting. I'm ready to see Sol take on Zipperface. It's going to be epic. No, I don't think they're going to die. I think at least half the Jedi are going to die. I mean, at least the 5 randos that they brought with them are probably going to die. Yeah. It has to be a strong Sith to kill Vanestra. Vanestra's an interesting character because she's a lot older. So her death would sort of be a very meaningful one. I guess any of their deaths would be kind of meaningful. Yeah. Ki Adi Mundi's on Kofar? No, he's not. Ki Adi Mundi didn't go with him. He's not on Kofar. No. Heavy Arm says, like most critics said, moist critical said? I don't know if you misspelt this or there's a person named Moist Critical. Because if there is, that's a freaking hilarious name. A Wookiee Jedi is slammed drunk and they killed him off screen. He's slammed drunk? What? Oh, is a slam dunk. I can't read English today, guys. A Wookiee Jedi is a slam dunk and they killed him off screen. We're going to get a lot more Kelnacca. And I'm not saying like he's coming back to life. I'm more so saying that in the flashbacks, which are probably going to happen in episode 6 or 7, they're definitely not coming next week. As we just read, the writers said that this is going to be something pretty crazy next week. So episode 6 or 7 are going to show us the flashbacks. Because we've seen in the trailers, if I pull it up really quickly, we've seen Kelnacca fighting against Torben and Sol. I believe in this trailer.
Star Wars.
Yeah. In this trailer right here. Kelnacca fighting against Torben and Sol at the Witch's Fortress 16 years ago on Brendok. So a big detail that a lot of people missed in episode 4 is when Sol senses in the Force Kelnacca dying. He's looking off in the distance. He senses Kelnacca dying. And then he turns and has a conversation with Osha. When he's talking to Osha, he says something like, "You have to face your past, and I do too." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" And then he says, "I'll explain everything when we get back to the ship." First of all, I don't think they're both getting back to that ship together, at least. I think Osha's going to be captured by Darth Zipperface or something along those lines, because if I press play here, that's Osha, not May, Osha. And she's picking up Darth Zipperface's lightsaber. She's clearly on what looks to be Arc 2 or whatever that mysterious planet is. So I think it's possible that Zipperface does survive this fight in the forest, takes Osha with him to wherever his base is. Hopefully it's Arc 2, but we'll see. Wherever this is, takes her there, and then we sort of get to... I don't even know what could happen from there, honestly. Does he turn her to the dark side? I don't know. I don't know. But they're both not making it back to the ship alive. But what Sol was going to explain to her if she made it back to the ship is what really happened that night. And we would get to see these flashbacks of Kelnacca fighting against Torben and fighting against Sol. But I don't know when we're going to see him now, especially with Osha going off with Zipperface. I don't know when we are going to see that. Because that's clearly Osha. And unless this is some trailer magic or whatever you want to call it, I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot going on here. A lot. And I can't wait. But I got to know, who the hell is Moist Critical? Because if it's a name, that's genius. Ian says, but the ones we don't know are toast. Yeah, the Jedi that they brought in for help are definitely goners. Insane. Yeah, 100%. Qui-Gon's Ghost, what's up, says, Jedi red shirts, glad it's not Plo Koon. I'm glad it's not Plo Koon, too, because I think he's going to die very quickly. Or she, because it's Ithia Pan. Ithia Pan's going to die very quickly. UV Clip says, I saw the leaks. I won't spoil it, but one Jedi in this group. I'm not even going to read that, just in case people don't want to know spoilers. But yeah, don't spoil it. I appreciate it. William says, isn't there a season 2 for this? No, not yet. I mean, maybe there will be one. Maybe they'll confirm it after the first season ends. But I think the reason they haven't confirmed a second season is because how the first season's going to end. Yeah, no, we don't do spoilers around here. As long as, like, even if I see them, I won't talk about them. Which I haven't seen them, actually. I've avoided them at all costs for this show. But going back to what William said, is there a season 2 for the show? Not yet, but I think that's because of how season 1 is going to end. I think that's going to be the biggest catalyst to whether or not we're going to get a season 2 or not. If this whole story about May being the Acolyte, obviously she's the main character, or at least the titular character, if she dies or if she comes back to the light side, then there's no more conflict and there's not really a story there for season 2. I would love for this show to sort of just adapt into a young Palpatine show, and the name of it can still stay the Acolyte, because maybe Palpatine just starts off as an Acolyte first to Plagueis, and Plagueis' master is Tenebris, and then Plagueis and Palpatine maybe try to overthrow Tenebris, which would be wild, and maybe that could be a season 2 or even a season 3, as we could maybe get a time jump to when Palpatine would be around. That would be amazing, but that's kind of just me fanboy dreaming over here. Yeah. Brady says, May is scared of Zipperface, so I don't know. Oh, May's very scared of Zipperface because she made a deal with him. That's what's really weird. What is the deal? Or what do you guys think the deal is that May made with Zipperface? That she's so scared to break. Because she's going around murdering 4 Jedi, the ones that were at her home on Brendok, in a specific way. She has to kill a Wookiee Jedi without a weapon as her final test to become an Acolyte of the Sith. But she's like, that's impossible. They're running through the forest. She's like, he'll never find me here. Of course, we know he does. But do you guys, what could have possibly been the deal that she made with Darth Zipperface, and why did she make it? Why did she make the deal? Maybe that she would train with him in the ways of the dark side so that she would have the power to kill these Jedi? I really don't know. John Groom says, you would think if any of them survived, the first thing they would do is make the call to say, there's a frickin' Sith in the forest. Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think Vanestra Rho is going to show up. And honestly, they might not even say Sith. Because yes, there's a red lightsaber wielding, creepy looking dude, and I would say Sith. I would describe him to be a Sith. But again, none of these Jedi have ever seen a Sith before. And maybe the Jedi archives have some pictures or whatever. And maybe they conclude that it is a Sith. But we learn in episode 4 that they're not going to trouble the Jedi Council with this, because if they learn about that, they'll have to tell the Senate, and then it's a whole big deal. The Sith are back, and the galaxy turns to chaos, or at least the Senate turns to chaos, and that's not what they want. Political drain. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars political drain. I appreciate that quite a bit at the Padawan level. Okay. Where was I? I feel like some of the Jedi will die in the fight. Oh, 100%. 100%. We're going to see the full might of this Sith Lord in the forest, and we're going to see him probably kill some people. What's interesting to me is that he didn't kill Osha. That is important. He's already killed Kelnacca. He's probably going to kill many of these Jedi as well in the forest. Why didn't he kill Osha? That's a big question. That's a big one. A big one. Oh, what the hell? You guys are very generous today. Scott West. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Scott West at the Padawan level. I appreciate it. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. Going back to what I was just saying. What was I just saying? Oh, going back to what I was just saying. Yeah, we're going to see a lot of Jedi dying in this forest, and that'll really prove how powerful this Sith is. But there's a reason that he didn't kill Osha. And that brings us to the biggest discussion of the day, I personally believe. Is Kimir, you guys know Kimir, our weird character, he's a big mystery, goofball, don't know what he's doing. Is Kimir Zipperface? I'm actually going to pull this up. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. By the way, this other poll was 70-30. 70% of you saying no, Zipperface will not die in the next episode, but 30% of you saying yes. All right, let's start up a new poll. Okay. Is Kimir, whoops, that's not how you spell Kimir. Is Kimir Darth Zipperface? Yes or no? No maybes, just a yes or no. Is Kimir Zipperface? Yes, obviously. Obviously, yes. Definitely yes. Interesting. Okay, so here's the deal. Is Kimir Darth Zipperface? We'll leave that poll up there for quite a while. But, and you guys tell me. But here's my thing. Did Kimir have enough time to cut himself down from hanging upside down, beat May, not just like outrun May to the location, but also change clothes into his Zipperface outfit, kill Kelnacca, because Kelnacca was freshly killed. He's still literally steaming. His body is steaming, dead in the chair. Just kill Kelnacca, and then run back, and so that he can have his awesome, cool entrance and float down. Was he just like, and then, hang on, awesome, cool entrance time. Like, was that what he did? I don't think so. I don't think Kimir had enough time to do that. So the question becomes, is Kimir Darth Zipperface? And if so, how? Wow. Right now we are about 50-50 in the poll. Literally 50-50. Exactly 50-50 right now. With over 60 votes in, we are 50-50 down the middle. Wow. This is wild. If not Kimir, then who? Vanestra Rowe? I don't know. Koril. Okay. Mother Koril is one I see all the time. Mother Koril being Zipperface is very interesting to me. I don't think so. Why did we not hear Kelnacca die? Maybe he went quietly. Well, we see Soul sort of sense him dying. We get the scene of Soul looking off into the distance, sensing him die. Or at least that's what we believe he senses. He senses him die. That's almost like immediately before they hear May scream and then go running. So it happens like that. Actually, that would mean it happens before Kimir even gets trapped, right? Interesting. Darth Drew, what's up? Says, dude, I'm so torn on this show. Like, I'm happy it's Star Wars, but woof. LOL. Woof? Like a dog? May uses the dagger as a weapon, so she cannot be the Acolyte. I think Smilo Ren is the Acolyte. So you think Darth Zipperface is the Acolyte himself? I don't think so. May uses daggers, which are considered weapons. That's true. But it's not until she goes to kill Kelnacca is when she doesn't use a weapon. So her final mission, that's what they call it, she has to go kill Kelnacca without a lightsaber, or without a weapon. Yeah, that's the issue. Or that's the mission, I should say. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so far behind on chat. This is Galaxy Love says, I'm not a Swiftie, but she is a massive talent and deserves all the credit. I agree, but that was a long time ago. Oh my god, I gotta catch up on some of these chats. Brian says, I enjoyed the alien forest world. Yeah, it's cool. Kofar is a very cool planet in Star Wars, I must say. B-Man, what's up? It's a very cool planet in Star Wars because it's almost like, it's the perfect definition of what the Acolyte is. Kofar. It's a planet with new species, new alien creatures, new characters like Basil, what do they call him? Basil, the plant. The new weird-looking, creepy, giant insect, flying dragon things. And it's a place in Star Wars where you can get lost. It's almost like the outer rim of Star Wars in this one planet. So it's a really cool sort of what the Acolyte is. It's a possibility, endless possibilities, a forest of endless possibilities. And it just so happens in this forest, the Jedi come across a Sith Lord. It's kind of like Dagobah, too, when you kind of think about it. It's this weird forest that, like, Yoda's in the middle of this forest, and Luke just happens upon him. He's this weird frog-looking dude, and he's joking with him, and it's cool. Did we hit 39? Did we hit 139? Did we just break the record? Crazy. Brady says, people always like to fight and hate for no reason. I think people just have, especially when it comes to Star Wars, people have very strong opinions about how they feel specifically about Star Wars, and that's perfectly fine. If you like certain aspects of Star Wars, dislike certain aspects of Star Wars, or certain projects, I should say, that's perfectly okay. I am the biggest fan of Rise of Skywalker. I'm sorry, not Rise. What the hell's wrong with me? I am the biggest fan of Revenge of the Sith. It's a completely different movie. I guess both ends of trilogies. Calm down. I'm the biggest fan of Revenge of the Sith. It's my favorite Star Wars movie. I think it's perfection, like from start to finish, perfection. From the opening fight in the space above Coruscant to the ending fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan dropping Luke off on Tatooine. I think it's the perfect movie. However, many of you would disagree with me. Many of you would say that your favorite Star Wars movie is something else. Maybe it's Empire, maybe it's Return of the Jedi, maybe it's The Phantom Menace, maybe it's Rogue One, maybe it's A New Hope, maybe it's whatever, The Force Awakens, who knows? But it doesn't mean I'm wrong. It doesn't mean you're wrong. Because these are opinion-based matters. Opinion-based matters. This entire conversation is. The Acolyte is as well. Yeah. Darth Lopez says, first generation subscriber here, finally caught alive. I appreciate you, Darth Lopez, first generation. What does that even mean? Do we have generations here on the channel? That's funny. I like it. Rainbow Saber, what's up, Rainbow Saber, says, they've always been teasing the Duel of the Fates style battle. I really think that we'll be getting it next week. Yeah, they've been talking about this huge lightsaber battle coming in this show. And maybe it's this one next week. Maybe it's some battle we don't even know about that's coming in episode 7 or 8. Because next week's only episode 5, guys. It's only episode 5. We have 3 more after it. So if we get this awesome, cool battle in episode 5, it's great. It's fantastic. But then we have 3 more episodes after that. What happens in those episodes? If this is sort of the giant climax of the show, what's after it? What then becomes the story? I think there's still a massive, massive thing that's going to just drop, probably at the end of episode 5, that sort of shifts the gears of this entire show. And it probably revolves around May and Osha's connection. We talked about this with episode 3. The entire episode is focused around how Osha and May are meant to be together, because the power of 2 is more powerful than the power of 1. And I think that's going to come into play in the back half of this season. Yes, this fight in the Force is going to be really cool, an awesome lightsaber duel. Who doesn't love that? But that's not what this show's about. It's about Osha and May and their connection. And what they're sort of made for is how this show, I think, is going to end. I don't know how or what it's going to lead to, whether or not Osha and May both become evil, or both become acolytes of the Sith, or both become good guys and fight against the Sith. I don't know. But it has something to do with the two of them being extremely powerful together rather than apart. That's why in this episode, May leaves Kimir and says Osha being alive changes everything. And Osha says that she can't kill May because she can't, or she needs Yor to kill May because she's not going to be able to do it. Because the two of them are better together. Yeah. Dead Mike, I hope I'm not dead and you're not me. But Dead Mike says, oh, I already read that. My fault. Jonathan says, Ki Adi Mundi's Ki Adi Mundi's entire race is now legends with their lore because they used to die about 60 to 70 years old. Well, actually, no. The legends lore is that Ki Adi Mundi's species lasts, the males last 50 years and the females last 100 years, which is pretty wild because Ki Adi Mundi dies at 60, which already doesn't make sense. But that's not the case anymore because this is canon Star Wars we live in, not legend Star Wars. And I've never claimed to be a guy who knows everything about Star Wars because I don't. I clearly do not. But I like to think I know a lot when it comes to canon Star Wars. I love canon Star Wars. Legend stuff has some great stuff. The Heir to the Empire trilogy is fantastic. The Plagueis novel, which is technically still Legends, is great. But I still like canon better. Yes, you can have some fun in Legends, but canon means something, and it always meant something more. So I'm a big guy when it comes to canon. And canon-wise, Ki Adi Mundi's alive in the Acolyte. Yeah. Maria says, you should question if there's a journalist, if they would like the show. Wait. I don't know what that means, but yes. Episode 5 will be a non-stop duel. It could be. Episode 5 is going to be on the longer side, for sure. It's definitely going to be on the longer side because just like we read here, if I can pull it back up again real quick. Claire, who was a writer on the show, says, we wrote the next 2 episodes, episode 4 and episode 5, as one together. It's one total story. And they had a ballpark limit for both. It had to be a specific length. And for reasons, which we don't know yet, next week's is going to be the longer of the 2. So so this one had to be kept short. And she said also that this is the shortest episode that she thinks of the entire show. So, for reasons which we don't know yet, but we do know that next week's episode is going to be a lot longer. It could be an entire lightsaber fight the entire time. And she also says that, I know it's killer, the unnatural cutoff of this last episode, but it was the most natural place. And you will see what I mean when the next episode comes out, which is kind of crazy. Because obviously, they could have ended it. The episode wouldn't have been nearly as intriguing or as good if they didn't have that big cliffhanger at the end. If it was just all the information stuff at the beginning, the sort of Fellowship of the Ring type looking stuff where the Jedi are just out looking for Kelnacca and May and Kimir are also looking for Kelnacca, we get a lot of information in those scenes, but it's the cliffhanger ending that really ties this entire episode together and makes it a really good episode. So if it's not cut there, if it's cut before that, this episode looks bad or worse. If they cut it after that, then we're going to be in the middle of a battle. And that would be even worse to cut it in the middle of that. So I think something crazy might happen at the beginning of the next episode that might be sort of explanation as to why they cut it here. Yeah. I like that we were finally dipping our toes into Sith lore. I've been waiting for a show about the Sith and the dark side of the Force. Yeah, it is cool to see that. But we really aren't. We are very, I guess, dipping your toe. You'd be like dipping the tiniest piece of your toe in. Because we're not really getting much information about the Sith here. None at all. Now, maybe we will in the back half of the season. But right now, we're not. So, I'd love to get more information about the Sith. Who's the master right now? Is it Tenebrous? Is it Plagueis? I don't know. But I would love to find out. It would be really cool if Zipperface dies and the master is Tenebrous, not only to see a Bith Sith, but you can also bring in a younger Plagueis as the next apprentice, which would be amazing. Yeah. Dead Mike says, the Acolyte series is 10 times better than Ahsoka? I disagree with that. Ahsoka is one of my favorite shows ever, and it's partially just because I'm a huge Clone Wars and huge Rebels fan. And Ahsoka is my second favorite character ever, and Anakin just so happens to be my favorite character ever, which of course would inevitably make episode 5 of Ahsoka my favorite episode ever. But Ahsoka, for me, is just leaps and bounds ahead of this show. It's not even close. But again, there's still a whole nother half of this season to go. I don't think it will reach Ahsoka, not even close, but it has a long way to go. Yeah. Political Drain says, isn't wanting to see more, waiting on the edge of your seat, the definition of an awesome cliffhanger? Yes, it is. But if you look online, you wouldn't think so. That's why when somebody brought this up in Tuesday's stream, I keep forgetting what day of the week it is today. On Tuesday's stream, when somebody brought up the fact that this show should have been released all at the same time, I disagree with that, but I can see where you're coming from. Because I love speculating week to week. I love a good cliffhanger. I love wanting more in a show. But if you're somebody who loves to just binge and watch everything at the same time, not have to wait a whole week, then yeah, releasing it all at the same time is way better for you. It's like a Netflix show that releases all at the same time. Or yeah, I guess HBO does the weekly releases too. But yeah, I totally get it. The floating in reminded me of Vader coming down the stairs in Empire. Yeah, kinda. Yeah. Imagine if Vader floated in Empire back in 1980. That would have been wild. Yeah. Jonathan says, oh yeah, and don't forget that Anakin Skywalker is not special anymore. Everyone is born from the Force. I mean, no. Not everybody's born from the Force. The Force is obviously in every living thing, so technically, I mean, if you want to go that route, you could say that. But Anakin's the chosen one. That's clear. But the chosen one prophecy from the get-go is wrong. He's supposed to bring balance to the Force. Technically, again, we're getting into technicalities here. Technically, he leaves 2 Jedi and 2 Sith, which he doesn't, but 2 Jedi being Obi-Wan and Yoda, and 2 Sith being himself and Palpatine. He technically brings balance. Technically. But the chosen one prophecy is just a lie. Anakin's just a very, 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 very powerful Force user that's created by the Force itself. The difference here being these witches, this coven of witches, created these 2 girls for a purpose. Yes, they did it using the thread or the Force, but there's a purpose to these girls that we just don't know yet. Yeah. Matt says, if episode 5 is just flashbacks, I'll be extremely disappointed. Me too, but I actually don't think it will be. I think, honestly, the girl that we just talked about that wrote the episode, she just kind of confirmed that it's not going to be. Somebody brought up the point that episode 3 and episode 7 are directed by the same person. So episode 3 was all flashbacks. Episode 7 might be all the flashbacks too. So that would mean episode 5 and episode 6 are in the current day. Episode 7's flashbacks. And then we go from there into the finale, which would make the most sense. Obviously now episode 5 cannot go to flashbacks because we just got the craziest cliffhanger and we want to see where that cliffhanger goes. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way episode 5 is flashbacks. Absolutely no way. I'd bet money on it. Lots of money. I bet Chopper on it. I would bet Chopper on it. Right, Chop? Yeah. Chris says, I'm the same way, Mike. When the screen went black, I screamed at my RV. No? At the RV? I have no idea what RV stands for. But yes. Star Wars Santa, what's up, says, too young to understand. Oh, wait. ROFL? Too young to understand children, clutching their pearls reference. ROFL. I guess I'm too young to understand ROFL too. ROFL? Guys, abbreviations are the worst. TV, not RV. Oh, I get you. Abbreviations, I don't get. Okay, we know this here. I'm the worst when it comes to abbreviations. The official Star Wars account came into the stream on Tuesday and said, like, thanks for watching with us, Mike. IFG, and I thought it was IFG. It turns out it was LFG. Like, let's fucking go. So Star Wars swore at us in the chat. Jeez. But I just, like, abbreviations just go whoop right over my head. Right over my head. Rolling on the floor laughing? Like, I never would have got to that. Rolling on the floor laughing is ROFL? Where's the T? That's just roll on floor laughing. Roll on floor. Your abbreviations suck. I'm not stupid. You're stupid. Yeah. Yeah.
Incorrect.
Zipperface physique implies a woman to me. Really? Interesting. By the way, this poll is now 55 to 45%. 55% of you thinking, yes, Kimir is Zipperface, which is interesting. Interesting. Oh, maybe it was Let's Frickin' Go? Yeah, that's true. Could have been Frickin' Go. You're right. They didn't have to swear at us. You're right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The lurker below says, it's Mother Anisea. Why else would they have masked the Sith? Why else would the masked Sith push Osha to the side? Yeah, there's that possibility that this masked Sith, whoever it may be, Darth Zipperface, knows who Osha is, and that's why he keeps her alive, pushes her off to the side. That's a possibility. For sure, a possibility. Yeah. But Mother Anisea we see dead on the floor. Like, they focus on her specifically being dead on the floor in episode 3 when Sol is taking Osha out of the witch's fortress, we see Mother Anisea specifically on the floor dead. Interesting. Jonathan says, when I got through 4 episodes and $90 million, I still haven't learned anything. Sounds like a you problem, Jonathan. Yeah. Yeah. I think Sol and Jecki will survive this episode, and that's it. So Yord dies? You think Yord is dead? That'd be crazy. It would be Mother Koril. That makes more sense. Honestly, I think people have just become too attached to Mother Koril. We didn't see Mother Koril. Is she not with the dead bodies? I'm going to have to... Actually, we can probably check right now. Let's see. The Acolyte, which is dead. Let's see if she's in the dead bodies. Let's see if she's in these dead bodies. Oh, it's really hard to tell. Hang on, let's zoom in a lot. Zoom it in! Is that not her, like, right in the middle right there? No? Is that not her? Maybe it's not. Hey, maybe you're right. Maybe Mother Koril's not here. But my biggest thing is with Mother Koril, why would she become a Sith Lord? Why would she go against everything that she... Or... Huh. What if she's not a Sith Lord? Okay, I'm going to explain this, but I want to let you know before I do. I don't think it's Mother Koril. I don't at all. I still think that Zipperface is the apprentice to maybe Plagueis or Tenebris. I don't think that this is Mother Koril. But here's the theory. Mother Koril survives the events of the Jedi attacking the witch's fortress on Brendok 16 years ago. Then she has a vendetta against these Jedi. But she knows that she's not going to be able to take down the entire Jedi Order by herself, and now she has no witch friends to help her, because they all died. But what if this is not a Sith? And the way they go about the Jedi never coming into contact with a Sith Lord is by explaining that this is Mother Koril. The mask comes off. We know the mask comes off from this trailer over here. Oh, shit, am I going to be able to find that trailer? Do you guys remember which trailer it is where the mask comes off? Is it this one? Might be. I think it is this one. Hang on. Let's see.
This is a fight that you will not win.
Let me bring her in.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
Star Wars.
No, but that's where Jecki fights. Oops. That's Jecki versus Zipperface. Where is it that his helmet's laying on the ground? Because his helmet, or her helmet, I guess, might fall off or come off, and it's revealed that it is Mother Koril. Now, it's possible that this would explain how the Sith haven't been around. TV spot number 2, that does not help. I appreciate it, but that does not help one bit. I'm just looking at like, oh, maybe it's this one?
This is a fight that you will not win.
Student of the dark side, an acolyte.
I didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
Believe me.
I don't believe her. Maybe this one? Oh, I think it is. Oh, found it. Okay, cool. We found it. We found it. Don't worry about it. This right here. This is Darth Zipperface's helmet laying on the ground during the daytime. This means one of two things. His head gets chopped off, and this is just the next morning. Or he takes off his helmet, and this fight lasts all night. We just saw the sun set. This is the sun coming up. It's possible that this fight lasts all night, which would be insane. But Let's say this is not his head coming off or her head coming off, and that's just his helmet or her helmet on the ground. This could be revealed to be Mother Koril, sorry, and that would prove that the Sith have not come back. And the Jedi would not be aware that the Sith have come back because that's not what's going on here. Maybe Mother Koril was recruited by Tenebris or Plagueis to become an apprentice to the Sith, and she wants the revenge. And she's just using May as a sort of pawn in her scheme. What do we think of that? What do we think of that? It could not only just explain, one, who's under that mask, but it could also explain why the Jedi don't think that the Sith have returned. Because they'll just think it was, something that happened on Brendok 16 years ago. And it just came back to bite them in the ass. But it's not the Sith, it's just the witches. There's no Sith involved here. What do we think about that? Damn it, that's empty. Can I get some good cup swallow orders in the chat, please? Bumpa. Alex says, I think next week's episode will be flashbacks. However, I could be wrong. I think you're wrong. I think this, if it is Mother Koril is dead. Rewatch the episode right before Osha leaves the planet. Okay. Let's see if we can find that. Let's see if we can find that. Right before she leaves the planet, eh? Okay. I see dead bodies. They're coming up on Mother Anisea's dead body. There's Mother Anisea. I don't see Koril there. Yeah, I don't see Koril there. Maybe there is a frame of her. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. Damn, it's getting hot down here. I might dump this entire cup on my head. There's a massive heat wave going on outside. So it's like 100+ degrees. It's getting hot. It's getting hot in here. Okay, where was I? So the point of it being Mother Koril might be onto something there. It would explain how the Jedi don't think the Sith have returned. It would explain that. If it's Mother Koril and it's not just a Sith Lord, that would be something. It's hot here too. Yeah, it's like 100+ degrees outside right now. It's just ridiculous. Mr. B says, Darth Zipperface is literally what we want to see Palpatine do more of, destroying Jedi. Yeah, I mean, we're going to get an incredible lightsaber sequence next week, which kind of intrigues me to see what they're going to complain about next week. But I'm excited. No, not Soul. Soul will survive. No way. Master Soul is out Qui-Gon Jinn. I'd be pissed if he dies. Is out Qui-Gon Jinn? Is not Qui-Gon Jinn, I think you mean? I mean, they made him so similar to Qui-Gon Jinn, I wouldn't be surprised if they killed him off just like him. I would not be surprised. Let's be real. Yeah. It's 116 degrees where you are? I'm going to stop complaining now. Are you serious? That's insane. It's like 99 or 101 or something where I am. 116? Are you melting? What? That's crazy. I don't want Soul to die. Me either. Me neither. 4K Media Guy says, Star Wars died for me until Disney sells it to somebody who can get it back on track. Well, that is never going to happen. Disney's making so much money off of Star Wars, you have no idea. But, to your point, Star Wars is dead for you. Then why are you in a chat of a person called a guy who loves Star Wars? Just curious. Who cares how much money they spent? It's their money, not yours. I don't know what that's in reference to, but sure. Fran says, is this series worth watching? Haven't seen any anything from Disney since The Last Jedi? Friends, first of all, is this series worth watching? I'd say yes. I'm enjoying it quite a bit so far. But if you haven't seen anything since The Last Jedi, you got to go watch Ahsoka, Rebels, Clone Wars Season 7, The Mandalorian, The Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi. You got a lot of watching to do. And I'd watch, I mean, you can watch The Acolyte because it takes place before everything. But I'd watch everything else first. Yeah. Jack Robin says, I mean, look at Kelnacca. He only had, 2 minutes, not even that, of screen time before Zipperface killed him? You don't think that he or she would kill the Kel Dor? Because he couldn't survive if Kelnacca was there. I'm confused. I mean, look at Kelnacca. He only had 2 minutes. Well, Kelnacca's going to be getting more screen time. I know a lot of people are concerned about that, but Kelnacca's going to be getting a lot of screen time. Yeah. Jonathan says, I'm Ki Adi Mundi in the Phantom Menace. I forgot that I was a part of a cope to go against the Jedi Council and an evil force user existing. I also forgot about May and Osha and one of them being in the Order. How wrong this is. I'm Ki Adi Mundi in the Phantom Menace. I forgot I was a part of a cope against the Jedi Council. That's not true. They just didn't tell the Jedi Council because they'd have to tell the Senate. This is not a big conspiracy here. They're just trying to find out who May is and who her master is. They never once suspect Sith. Never once. Because the Sith haven't been around for so long. Yeah. It could be some splinter order, which they seem to get a lot of. If you read any of the High Republic books, they seem to get a lot of Force users that don't really follow the Jedi Order. Even the Witch is the prime example of that. Star Wars Santa says, yeah, I'm betting that that Darth Zipperface is going to die at the end of this series. I actually think he might die a lot sooner than that. Now, maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he does survive the events of the Force, but we'll see. We shall see. Dead Mike says, I'm glad I found your channel. I'm a new subscriber here, and I'm sick of people being upset that minorities are in lead roles. That's just an insane complaint is what I was looking for to have. It absolutely is, but I'm glad you found my channel too. The internet calls him Smilo Ren. I kind of like Smilo Ren. I like Darth Zipperface better. Shout out to Qui-Gon's Ghost. I think some of the Jedi already died. They could have died from that push, but I feel like that would be a lame way to go. Yeah. Osha will become the new Acolyte? That would be crazy. That'd be crazy. Darth Lopez says, I believe Special Forces Jedi. What? Special Forces Jedi? We'll find out about the Rule of Two from the Council? We'll conceal the Rule of Two from the Council? Interesting. Huh. But then how would... that would mean that the Special Forces, I think what you're talking about is Ki Adi Mundi being involved. Then Ki Adi Mundi would know about that. Now you're saying that he's the one being the liar in the Phantom Menace? That would be insane. That would make people think quite differently about our big-headed friend. Darth Zipperface is too strong. I wouldn't say he's too strong. I'm just more confused as to how he's that strong. And I want to see. Zipperface is better than Smilo Ren in my opinion. Yeah, Smilo Ren's just too close to Kylo Ren, and it's honestly just going to confuse some normie fans. You want to have a difference. In Zipperface, I mean, you got to go with the smile, which obviously Smilo Ren does, but you're, again, referring to Kylo Ren. Yeah. John Groom says, we do see Zipperface's helmet on the ground in the trailer. Yes, we do. So he either takes off his helmet, and again, that's in the daytime. This is in the daytime, which is pretty big, because we know this fight's going to take place at night. So this is the daytime, and we also see Venestra Rowe in the daytime. And, if I can find this really quickly, in the original trailer for this show, we see a sliced lightsaber. Let me see. Yeah, this one. Whoa.
Last night, a Jedi was murdered.
The Jedi.
By the way, it's crazy how much of this we've already seen. Like, insane. Almost this entire trailer we've already seen, and we're only 4 episodes in.
But
I'm actually
justify their galactic dominance.
just gonna skip to where we're talking.
Jedi are being hunted.
This. So we got some sort of dead body over there. It's probably one of the Jedi in this forest. It kind of looks like Yord a little bit, but you can't really tell from here. But we got a lightsaber that's cut in half, which is just awesome. I mean, we're going to get this massive fight sequence in this forest. But this is still sort of nighttime. A lightsaber that's cut in half. Pretty damn cool, if I do say so myself. And it looks like there's like almost ash falling from the sky, or something's falling from the sky. Yeah, weird. But we got a lightsaber that's cut in half. It's hard to tell whose lightsaber that might be, but it looks like you got green and red both in there, but green maybe. So maybe somebody with a green lightsaber in the fight at the end. We know Sol doesn't have a green lightsaber, but Jeki does. And some of the other Jedi that do as well. So I'm guessing that a lot of those Jedi are going to die in this scene. And clearly we're going to get some pretty wild stuff. Lightsabers being cut in half by the hilt. Wild. So I'm hoping we're going to get this really, really cool lightsaber duel next week. But yes, we do see his head chopped off, or at least his helmet on the ground during the daytime. So he's either defeated, or this is a really, really, really long lightsaber duel. Really long. Yeah. Joseph says, I'm glad whenever we get new Star Wars. If you like it, watch it. If you don't, then don't. And then watch the next one. Yeah, I mean, if you don't like the show, my biggest thing is people who don't like the show, why are you watching it? Not only just watching it, why are you watching it so closely to like nitpick the biggest excuse, or the biggest complaint I should say, with episode 3 was that the bricks were on fire? Have we lost our minds? Did I say that already? Have we lost our minds? It's crazy. Vegas Gamer says, he's way too powerful. The dark side is strongest when it's concentrated between few. In Legends, with the Bane trilogy, that's why the rule of 2 becomes a thing. That's true, but that would mean that he should be this powerful. That's the same reason as to why Palpatine is so powerful too. The dark side of the Force should be pretty much projected onto only these 2 beings. That's why the rule of 2 was created. So he should be this powerful. He should be able to just kind of kick some ass. Yeah. Bricks and screws. That's actually an incredible point. I didn't even think about that. People are complaining about the bricks being on fire in episode 3. The same people who are complaining about the bricks and screws in the Andor show. It's wild. And now look at the Andor show. We're 2 years off of the Andor show. Andor has the biggest cult following right now. Shout out to people who are Andor fans in the chat, because I am one too. But the people who love Andor love Andor. Love it. And the other people that were just trying to put them down because Andor wasn't really like other Star Wars, didn't have many aliens, didn't really use the Force, talk about the Force, lightsabers, that stuff. It was different. It was a great story, but it was different. And people just looked for complaints, bricks and screws. It just happens time and time and time again on every Star Wars project. This is nothing new. This is absolutely nothing new. It happened with Ahsoka. It happened with Andor. It happened with Kenobi. It happened with Mando. And it's going to happen with Skeleton Crew. It's going to happen with Ahsoka Season 2. It's going to happen with Andor Season 2. And it's going to happen till the end of time. Because Star Wars is so big. And for some reason, the minority just keeps screaming louder than the rest. Because I still believe that the majority of the Star Wars fandom, and I mean the massive majority of the Star Wars fandom, is not on the same mind or wavelength as these people that are just screaming their heads off about anything that they can get their hands on. Bricks and screws. It's wild. Great point. What happened to the Clone Wars? Clone Wars was monumentally hated when it debuted. Yes, absolutely. The Clone Wars movie is maybe the Acolyte is now, but at least critically, it is the lowest Rotten Tomato score of any Star Wars project. The Clone Wars show is the highest. it's like night and day. We're talking about the Clone Wars movie in the first couple seasons that were absolutely hated on. And now they're like one of the best things ever. And it's a very similar situation with the prequel trilogy as well. The prequel trilogy was crapped on completely. And a lot of that comes from Star Wars is made for kids. I get it. I'm a grown adult sitting here. I mean, an adult. I'm 22 years old. I'm a grown person sitting here. We're probably, many of you in the chat are probably grown people sitting here talking about Star Wars, but it's made for kids. And it's just the kids who grow up. Clone Wars was hated when it first came out. Now it's loved. Those kids grew up. I was one of those kids, grew up on Clone Wars. Now I love Clone Wars because I grew up on it. Prequel, same thing. The prequel trilogy was not very liked when it came out, and now it's beloved because those people who it was made for were kids, and they've grown up, and now they love that. Same thing is happening right now. Same exact thing. Yeah. Explore the Force says, I don't think Zipperface is the real baddie for some reason. Or for this season, sorry. He does have a double-bladed saber, I think. What? Double-bladed, you think? I don't think so. I think it's just one. But you don't think he's the real main bad? I don't think he's the main bad guy. Like, I think there's a master going on here with probably Plagueis or Tenebris. But I do agree that there's probably a big thing that's going to twist in episode 4 or episode 5. There's a big twist coming. For sure. No, not for sure. 5 sure. Soul dies off screen and goes into exile to remove him from the story? No, I don't think so. No. Dead Mike says, I need to see Kelnacca versus Torben in the flashbacks. Yeah, and you might have to wait a few weeks for that. Like maybe even episode 7, which would be kind of a bummer, but hopefully episode 6. Hopefully. I think Vanessa Rowe will be the one who ends up killing Darth Zipperface. Could be. Definitely could be. She does show up. Her using her lightsaber whip is on, at least what looks like, is on Kofar. Unless it's some trailer magic again. Christoph, what's up? Christoph says, I don't want to see him at midnight because he looks like he can bite with those iron teeth. Yeah, he kind of looks like a vampire almost. And it's crazy that he comes out once the sun sets. Like that scene of May coming in on Kelnacca being dead in the chair, and she's like, oh my God, he's dead. And then the sun sets at that moment, and then the music just gets really creepy, and you just see behind Osha float down Zipperface. It's an incredible entrance. Like the creepiest entrance in Star Wars, but one of the best. It's up there with some of the best entrances in all of Star Wars for a villain. What I found really cool watching this episode for the 3rd and 4th time was how obviously Osha and May as adults are played by the same actors, Amanda Steinberg. And as kids, there are two different actresses. They're a set of twin actresses. But you realize how they sort of get away with it. Like they're not on the screen at the same time ever, really. And it's really cool how they go around that. Like you have this scene where May is in Kelnacca's house or in Shrek's swamp, just feet away from Osha, but they're not on the screen at the same time. You cut to May, who's looking out the cracks in the door, and then you cut to Osha, who's got Zipperface sneaking up behind. And you don't even, like, it never pops into your head until you watch it for the 4th or 5th time that, wow, this is the same actress. And they're two separate characters, but they can't really be on the same screen at the same time. So I wonder how they're going to continue going throughout this season to do that. Like how these characters are going to come together in the back half of this season, May and Osha, and how they're going to portray that on screen when it's the same actress playing both characters. It's kind of a cool behind the scenes type thing. Yeah. You think Soul will die in the last episode, Lucas? That would be crazy. Or you think, wait, who? Soul or Soul or Zipperface? By the way, with over 140 votes in, do you think Kimir is Darth Zipperface? 56% of you say yes, but that means that 44% say no, which is still a lot of you, which is kind of crazy to me. I'm 95% sure the Sith is not Quagmire? Who? What? What are you talking about? Brady says, remember that there was a clip from the trailer of Osha holding Zipperface's lightsaber? Yeah. So that's going to be a big thing. If I can pull it up really quickly here. That's going to be a big thing. And I think this might be foreshadowing how this fight is going to end. So first of all, this
Wars returns, and it's certified
shows us the
fresh.
Vanestra Row thing. This looks like Kofar to me. This looks like she's going to arrive on this planet.
Are you ready?
I sense this is only a small part of a larger plan.
That. So this might be alluding to how this fight in the Force is going to end. Because that's Osha. She's with Zipperface now because that's Zipperface's lightsaber. And now it's not double-bladed. You can see the sort of clip on the end there. But that's Osha. She's been captured, or at least willingly went with Zipperface. Who knows? And that sort of makes us believe that Zipperface is surviving this fight and probably capturing Osha and leaving the planet. But is that what he came for? Did he come for Osha so that he can put the two of them together? I have no idea. I really don't know what's going on here. I'm just purely speculating here. But something crazy is going on. Something absolutely wild is going on here. Yeah. And that scene's going to be an extremely important one once we finally figure out what's going on. Mother Koril will be revealed to be the Sith apprentice and will recruit Osha to her acolyte. To be her acolyte? I don't think so. There would be a crazy twist if Osha turned out to be the acolyte, like this entire time, like May was just a nobody. That'd be wild. That would be wild. Nick says he won't die in the next episode, but he will die in the season. You're saying Zipperface will die in the season? Interesting. Edward says, it feels like next episode will be a flashback again. I disagree. Well, just because of what the writers were saying. I don't think it is. Plus, they left us on this cliffhanger. They wouldn't not give us the fight, especially after all the press on this thing. Yeah. I think Vanestra dies to Plagueis in the last episode. That would be wild. If Plagueis is shown on screen at all, that would just be insane. That would be so cool. Yeah. Political Drain says, isn't wanting to see more and waiting on the edge of your seat the definition of... Oh, sorry. I think I already read that. No worries. Christoph says, don't be afraid. He doesn't bite. He just wants to play. Oh, okay. This is why I want Darth Bane series or movies. That would be amazing. Oh, yeah. A Bane trilogy or even a show. Anything with Bane. Anything. Would be awesome. Are you having a giveaway next week, Mike? Yeah, that's the end of the month, right? Next week. Yeah, so next Saturday, I guess, right? The last stream of the month, we always do giveaways. So if you're a member, you get instant access to those giveaways. That'll be next week, some point. Next week, late next week, something like that. Indeed. But yeah, going back to Darth Bane, we need a Darth Bane trilogy or just a show. We just got to go back to that time period. The Old Republic is just untapped potential of so much awesomeness. The only problem is now that you just put Ki Adi Mundi into the Acolyte and it pissed off so many fans because of a Legends thing. If you do the Old Republic and you do it by not doing exactly what happened in the KOTOR games and in all the Old Republic novels, then you're going to have a lot of complaints. That's for sure. So that's going to be a big issue when it comes time to do that. Yeah. The thing is, though, Plagueis wouldn't just come out and reveal himself. No, he won't. I don't think he will. I don't think he will be seen by the Jedi, or if he is, he will kill those Jedi. Because he is one that stays in hiding. This apprentice is kind of doing its own thing. Yeah. Yeah. Plagueis won't be showing himself. I don't think so. Darth Stack says, politics aside, and this may have already been raised, I think Wookiees are common ground for nearly all Star Wars fans, and the off-screen death of Kelnacca was a huge disappointment. You're going to be getting a lot more Kelnacca. I'm not disappointed by his death at all. I knew his death was coming. I just didn't know how they were going to do it. It seems like they killed him with him not knowing he was going to die. It didn't look like he put up much of a fight. Maybe he was asleep. I don't know. It's possible. But Kelnacca is going to be getting a lot more screen time in flashbacks, but still, nonetheless, he's getting a lot more screen time. So you're going to see this Wookiee Jedi in action. You're going to see what you came for. This Wookiee Jedi in action for sure. Yeah. Oh, David with the very generous $2 holla says Basil disappears, then Kelnacca dies. Coincidence? Oh my. You're saying that Basil is his name? Basil's the one who killed Kelnacca? Coincidence? That'd be hilarious. Basil's the Sith Lord all along. That'd be wild. I appreciate it, David. Very generous. And Martha with a huge $5 holla, 10th ever super chat. I appreciate it, Martha. Says, have you seen The Parent Trap? Lindsay Lohan playing twins on the same screen. It's a one-person theory here. Oh, interesting. Yes, I have seen The Parent Trap, and Lindsay Lohan plays twins. Yes, I have seen that movie. Actually, many times. Kind of came out when I was growing up, so it was kind of like yeah. But yeah, it is similar to that, for sure. I appreciate it, Martha. That is very generous. Very. Oh no, I just lost all the freaking chats from before. Are you kidding me? The Phantom Menace, the hate was crazy. Oh yeah, when the prequel trilogy started, the hate was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Especially against the actors, yeah. Especially Hayden Christensen, Ahmed Best, they got so much shit. Tony says, people need to watch the show and give their opinions, not watch the show because you value others' opinions over your own. Yeah, the problem has become so many Star Wars content creators are out there. And I urge you guys, if you like me as a content creator, I appreciate you, but don't take what I say as your own opinion. Come up with your own opinion on your own. Like, these content creators have such a big following and such a big grasp on their audience that these people literally take what they say as their own opinions. So I urge fans to just come up with their own opinions on shows, whether they like it or not. It means nothing to me. I just really hate to see people get taken advantage of. And that's just what is happening here all over the place. And it's really a bummer. But, yeah, I agree. Just watch the show. Give your own opinion. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. If you love it, keep watching it. And that's great. Star Wars is awesome. Okay? It's awesome. Yeah. That's it. It's awesome. Jedi Hangout says, I love the prequels. And I was an adult when they were out. Yeah, I'm not saying that everybody hated them that was an adult. There's obviously people that didn't. But the common consensus, and even at the time I don't think it was that they were not as good as the originals or whatever, maybe. And again, I think even then it was just the minority of the fandom screaming louder than everybody else, because now you look at it and people are like, the prequels are awesome. It's a whole, yeah. Yeah. I grew up in the Clone Wars too. Nice. Clone Wars is great. Brady says, I wonder if Zipperface will kill Vanestra. I don't know. I really don't know if the two of them will even come into contact with each other. Vanestra killing Smilo Ren would be awesome. It would be kind of cool. I'm getting Xenomorph vibes. Kind of. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Just the creepy aspect of it. Yeah. Indeed. Low Rider says, to answer your question, that there always has been a problem with the Star Wars fandom. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a new thing. This is not a new thing at all. There is so much hate in the Star Wars fandom, and it's always been that way. You can even track it all the way back to the original Star Wars. As soon as something big happens, something huge goes down, something popular comes up, then there becomes haters immediately. Because people never have the same. You're not going to have 8 billion people on a planet and they're all going to have the same point of view. That's just not how the world works. Me being somebody who lives in the Boston area, the Celtics just won a championship. If any of you guys follow sports, and I'm on cloud 9 because I'm a huge Celtics fan. Everybody else around the country is not happy about that, because they're not Celtics fans. They hate the Celtics. They want their team to win. It's the exact same thing. You have your own opinions, you like your own things, but not everybody else in the world has the same opinions as you, which is wild. Because it seems like everybody thinks that their opinion's right. It's wild. Yeah. Yeah. Seamus, what's up? Or is it Seamus? Seamus Channel, what's up, says, your positive takes are what the Star Wars community needs. It's not even my positive takes. I've seen other Star Wars channels out there that have very positive takes, and that's fantastic. I love that. I've seen a few videos in recent past of Star Wars creators who are very positive, and they've been getting a lot of shit and all this other stuff, and I love it. I love it. Because they have a positive attitude, and they're not going to change it just for a quick buck. The Star Wars community needs more positivity. And that's what I love to see. I love to see that even in this time of darkness on like I can't even go on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I can't go on Twitter anymore. I post on there sometimes, quite a bit actually. I post on there, but I can't even go in the comment section because yes, there's a ton of you that are positive and I appreciate it, but there's so much negativity on Twitter. It's insane. It's like a war zone. An absolute war zone. Even YouTube comment sections are really tough to go into too because it's just so much negativity. And I really love you guys because you're so positive all the time on this community, but there's so much negativity and it just needs to stop. If you don't like something, do not attack somebody else for liking it. That should just be like common sense, but clearly it's not. It needs to stop. It just needs to. Yeah, it's insane. And with that being said, Jedi Hangouts with a very generous $10 super sticker. The first ever super sticker on the channel, actually, I believe. I appreciate that quite a bit. That's very generous. Holy crap. I appreciate that quite a bit. Wow. You guys are awfully generous today. Awfully generous. And that's the thing. I was ready to come in. Like last night, I was going through it. I went on a downhill spiral of negativity in the Star Wars fandom. I was going in comment sections. I was like, this is just pissing me off. It's making me sad. And I hated it. And then I just knew when I woke up this morning that this live stream was going to make me so much better because you guys are awesome. You guys are positive all the time. And you guys, even if you don't like the episode, you're not going to fight about it. This is the greatest community in Star Wars. Personally, I believe it is. And it's so awesome to see you guys be so positive and so generous all the time. Even when Star Wars isn't at its best. It's wild. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it quite a bit. You guys are the best. If I don't say it enough, or I clearly don't say it enough, but I should be saying it more. You guys are the best. But yeah, going back to what Lowrider said, there's always been a problem with the fandom. Literally since day one, since Star Wars came out in 1977, people have hated on it because it's something good. And goodness always is met with hate. The light is always met with darkness. I love Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ahsoka, Andor, and the prequels. I just saw Tales of the Jedi. I got to watch Clone Wars and the Bad Batch. All right, I got to go watch Clone Wars and the Bad Batch. I liked Book of Boba Fett, even though it felt like Mando's Season 2.5, and I still enjoy Star Wars. That's awesome. And the fact that you get to go watch Clone Wars for the first time ever and the Bad Batch for the first time ever, I am extremely jealous. Have you watched Rebels? My question to you is, have you watched Rebels? Because if you get to go rewatch Rebels for the first time ever, can I like take over your brain for a day or something? Robert says, gift dollars are out there. Grift dollars are out there to be made for people who want to make them. Make the content and push negative agendas for years and years when it comes to Star Wars. I'm tired of the act, but it's clear that it works. That's the sad part. It works. And I'm not like, when I say content creators, I'm talking about tens of content creators, not just one. I'm talking about tens of content creators, not even just Star Wars, but Star Wars specifically, that are just making money off of talking bad on Star Wars. And not even talking bad on Star Wars, but negative agendas. Crapping on everything, even if they liked it. Like, even if they liked it in their own sort of world, they're not going to tell you that because they make money off of crapping on it. So when there's money to be made, they're going to continue to have that narrative. And it's just sad. It's sad. It's simple as that. It's sad. People who want to go make money off of making people mad, making people think negatively, making people just angry, that's the life you want to live? That's just sad. It's sad. End of the day, it's sad. Simple as that. But yeah, they do it all the time. There's so many of them out there. And it's not just Star Wars, honestly, but there's a lot of them out there. Yeah. It can't be a coincidence that right after May betrayed him, the Sith came out of nowhere. It is a little weird. It is weird. I'm working on a full-on video about Kimir possibly being Zipperface. I still don't know which side I'm on. Because, yeah, right after May turns on the Sith or turns on her master, he just happens to show up. Right after she just explained to Kimir what's going on, he just shows up. Also, Kimir's been very sketchy this entire series. Very. There's clearly something else going on with him. My thing is, I just don't believe that he could have cut himself down, went and killed Kelnacca, and then ran back and hid in the trees before May sprinted there. Like, there's just no way. Unless he's the Flash. I just don't see it being possible. And for some weird reason, I just never suspect him to be Darth Zipperface. I don't know who else it could be. Mother Koril, maybe. Mother Anisea? No, I don't think so. But there's very little possibilities. And Kimir's just happens to be one of them. Yeah. And by the way, this poll is still at 56 to 44%. Crazy. Crazy. Connor says, I feel like they want us to think that it's Kimir, and it's a little too on the nose for me. A lot of people think that too. They're leading us to believe it's Kimir to give another switcheroo type thing. There's a lot of twists and turns coming. That's what Leslie Headland, the showrunner, said. She said, as soon as you think you know what's going on, you don't. There's going to be this huge twist coming, and we don't even know what's coming. So, as soon as you think you know what's coming, you don't. I think there's going to be a massive twist that Zipperface might be somebody that we least expect, or it's nobody of importance, and Kimir has some other role in this show. But I agree with you, Connor. I think it's too on the nose. It's too obvious for it to be Kimir. Low Rider says, also the conversation that May and Kimir have about how they've never seen the Sith's face. Now that we know that Ki Adi Mundi was alive during the High Republic, I wonder how old he was during Revenge of the Sith. Well, I'll go to the first part of your thing. After seeing the conversation between Kimir and May. Yeah, Kimir explains that he also made a deal with the Master, with this Sith Lord. Now, we don't know what that deal is. I don't know. It's a mystery. That's what it is. But going to your second part, I wonder how old Ki Adi Mundi was. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, you could say he's like 20 in the Acolyte, or you could say he's 40. He looks like, I don't know, he looks young. He doesn't have the gray beard that he does in the Phantom Menace. So he's obviously younger by about 100 years. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. It's definitely Osha holding the saber because she wouldn't have worn those clothes under her civilian suit. Yeah, no, that's definitely Osha. Do I still have it pulled up? Yeah, this is Osha. She's got the shorter hair. She's wearing the clothes that Osha was wearing, or at least what looked like she was wearing, the gray outfit. And May does not wear this. May's wearing a completely different outfit. Absolutely. Yeah. Guys, I really have to pee, but I don't want to end the stream. Would you guys all stay here if I went and took a pee? Think about it. Connor says, it's like poetry. It rhymes. Zipperface has given May a task to kill the Jedi without a weapon, but Osha will kill him without a weapon. Interesting. I don't think so. Yes, of course. Go pee. Okay. If there's 110 of you when I come back, round of applause. Okay. I'm going to be so fast. So fast. Are you ready? Time me. Where'd everybody go? I don't think I've ever sprinted that fast in my life. Robert says, Darth Zipperface seems to roll in like the fog, and Osha, May, and Soul sensed it. They've tracked the arrival. So if Darth Zipperface is a supernatural being like a witch or a sorcerer type on top of being a Sith, maybe. I mean, that could be directly correlating to the whole Mother Koril thing, but yes, Soul senses it. Soul senses it like immediately, a darkness behind him. May knows that he's coming, so she senses that too. Osha senses it, but she's just now sort of tapping back into her everything. Fearless, what's up? Catherine, how we doing? She's tapping back into her Force sensitivity. Like, she hasn't been able to tap into the Force, or she hasn't tried to tap into the Force. Yeah. The one, the only Mike. Thanks, Justin. Mike, scroll up to my comment about Koril being why I fit. Okay, hang on. I'm all the way up here, so I might see it on my way down. Star Wars Santa says they are folded Jedi robes under the saber. Are we sure that the saber is Zipperface's? Yeah, it's the same saber. We know that for a fact. This is his saber that we see in episode 4. You can see it's the same hilt. But I don't know if those are Jedi robes. I mean, the white obviously is lighter, but it's gray and black over here. And it, like, the Jedi's robes are gold in this show. Gold and yellow and white. So, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Bro, your ads are sending me to the dark side. Sorry, I don't put the ads on the videos. YouTube does that, so shout out to YouTube. I'm calling it. I think that Soul will be force choked, but rather than Osha or both by Osha or both twins in the last episode. That's a bold prediction. Is Darth Zipperface the master or the apprentice? I think Zipperface is still the apprentice. I think we got what's going on here is Tenebrous and Plagueis. One of them, not both, but one of them, is the master, and this is their apprentice. It's one of their apprentices, because we know they probably have multiple apprentices, just like Palpatine has multiple apprentices from from Maul to Dooku to Anakin. So this is probably just one of their apprentices. Now, you guys tell me, do you think this is Tenebrous's apprentice or Plagueis' apprentice? Because it could kind of go either way. I know some people lean one way or another. Plagueis is more of a household name or more of a normie known name. Because of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis, we know that he is Palpatine's master. But Tenebrous would kind of be pretty cool, because then it would allow you to see a younger Plagueis and see him trained to become a Sith Lord and even take over Tenebrous and kill him. It would allow you to see those stories, which would be cool. Tenebrous is definitely the apprentice. I agree with that. I mean, Zipperface is definitely the apprentice. I agree with that. Plagueis. Plagueis ties into the Phantom Menace. Yeah, Plagueis, we don't know how old Plagueis is. It's a very similar situation with Ki Adi Mundi. We don't know how old Plagueis is when he dies. That's the biggest thing. He could be 50 or he could be 200. We really don't know how old he is when he dies. Yeah. Definitely want it to be Tenebrous. I'd rather it be Plagueis, honestly. Tenebrous is cool. A Bith Sith would be cool to see. But if it's Tenebrous, it would need a lot more explanation. Yeah. Yeah. Plagueis would be a lot easier for more normie fans. Indeed. Whoa, the lasso whip weapon looks really cool. It is really cool. I can't wait to see it in action. Being a Force user with a lightsaber doesn't make one a Jedi. That's true. Or a Sith, if they have a red lightsaber for that matter. And that might be sort of what's going on here. A Bith Lord. A Bith Sith. Yeah. Christoph says, it would be cool to leave this timeline and return to the past via flashbacks. Just to let us wait? No. You think it would be cool to wait another week until we get this cliffhanger revealed? That would suck. Imagine they did that crazy cliffhanger and made us wait 2 weeks? 2? No. Definitely not. I have a wild theory. I think Osha is the dark side aligned twin because her desire as a child was selfish, but May was content with remaining and serving her community, and it got derailed. I don't know. May looks pretty evil in that third episode. Like almost immediately, she tries to kill the butterfly in the opening scene, and Osha has to stop her. I like it. It's definitely a wild theory, but I don't think so. It's confirmed on Wikipedia that Jeki is in the next episode. Well, I would assume... Oh, you mean like because it would be flashbacks? Yeah, maybe. Lowdown says, when did you start your channel? I believe it was November of 2020. November 2020, it was. So 3.5 years. 3.5 years. Yeah, you guys are all here, but let's be honest. This is not... Getting 100 people on a live stream is a very new thing here. Many of you are very new to the channel. I've been here for quite a while. It's just only now that you are finding me. Brady says, if Plagueis was shown on screen, the haters would finally stop unless they said something like his head was too tall for some reason. Yeah, no, a lot depends on how he looks. That's a big thing. Because if he doesn't look right or if he looks stupid, like that's going to be a big issue. But Plagueis showing up is not going to be what stops the haters. Not at all. They're going to find something to complain about regardless. Whether it's his looks, whether it's how he appears, whether it's whatever happens when he does appear, there's always something to complain about. Yeah. Star Wars Politics says, we need more Hayden as Anakin. Yes, I agree with that. I think Ahsoka Season 2 will have some more Hayden as Anakin. I really don't know where else you could bring him in, but I'm sure they'll find spots. We still need to see Anakin's Force Ghost have a conversation with Luke Skywalker. That needs to happen. Chris says, Darth Zipperface has to be someone who needs to hide his or her identity. Otherwise, there'd be no point of wearing a helmet. Yes and no. I mean, Kylo Ren doesn't need to wear a helmet. He doesn't need to hide his identity. So that's not always the case. Like some people just wear masks because it's cool, because they look cooler. But maybe they're trying to hide their identity. I mean, if it's Kimir, they're trying to hide their identity for sure. If it's Mother Koril, they're probably trying to hide their identity too. So maybe. Star Wars Politics says, I'm making a theory on Anakin, how he's the last Celestial or Force God. That'd be kind of cool. That would be cool. Brian says, I'm almost positive Yoda shows up in episode 8. Let's ask the class. Do you guys think that Yoda is going to show up in this show? Give me a 1 if you say yes, Yoda will be in this show at some point, at any point. And give me a 2 if you're like, no, definitely no Yoda. They wouldn't do that. No Yoda at all. What do we think? Yoda, yay or nay? I'm leaning towards yes, because they just showed us Ki Adi Mundi. And Leslie Headland said in an interview that they wouldn't let me touch Yoda. There's no way I'm going to touch any legacy characters. But Ki Adi Mundi was in the show. So she also wouldn't tell us if he was going to be in the show. That's another thing. Wow, we were pretty split on this. Should we pull this up? I think we should. Let's do it. Let's end this poll, which is pretty wild of an end for this poll, actually. 55% to 44%. The math is not mathing. But 55% of you think that Kimir is Darth Zipperface, and 44 or 45% of you do not, which is pretty wild. All right, let's pull this up. Do you think Yoda will be in The Acolyte? Not next episode, not the episode after that, just in The Acolyte at all. Yes or no? We learned that they're not going to tell the Jedi Council about this matter. But I still think they're probably going to learn about it at some point, especially if a Sith is involved. Or at least a lot of Jedi start dying. Let's find out. Wow. right off the bat with already 30 plus votes in. We're 50-50 right down the middle, or 52-48 now. Huh. We'll leave that up there for a while. See where you guys are at. We'll leave it up there. All right, let me scroll back up here. Where was I? Mike, do you think that Koril could be Zipperface? I would say could. Yes, could be. I think it's probably less likely. I don't think... I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But I also wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. We'll put it that way. Yeah. Yeah. Lowdown says... I love how we have Lowdown and Low Rider. Lowdown says double impact wait, what the hell? Double impact Jean-Claude Van Damme played twins? I don't know what that is, but sure. I'm waiting for a sequel. I'm waiting for the sequels to be praised like the prequels were. I'm very interested to see if that happens because the sequel trilogy is a very divisive topic when it comes to the Star Wars fandom. I'm very interested to see if 15 years later, or 25 years later, I guess, like we are from the prequel trilogy, if the thoughts on the sequels have changed. And it's impossible to tell right now. It's impossible. We're only 9 years out since The Force Awakens. It's impossible to tell. So anybody who's in the chat right now going, of course they will, or no, definitely not, they suck. It's impossible to tell until 25 years from now, or I guess 15 years from now. But it will be interesting, for sure. Christoph says, oh no, I have some bad news. Donald Sutherland passed away. Oh, what? Really? No way. Yeah, June 20th, 2024. Oh, that's a bummer. Donald Sutherland. So I don't think he's never been in Star Wars right now. The guy who probably most known for his role in The Hunger Games, I guess, by most people now. That's a bummer. He's also in MASH from 1970. He's in Animal House, Space Cowboys. Oh, if you guys, this guy right here. Oh, that sucks. Huh. I'm not the biggest Hunger Games fan. Like, I've seen the movies, they're good, but I'm not, like, huge into it. But I do remember him being good. That's a bummer. That sucks. Where was I? Cos Licks says, are the Jedi corrupted already? We kind of get some inklings to that. Snow, that's what his name was. I was trying to think of that. Snow, yeah. I was trying. What was I just saying? Are the Jedi corrupt already? Yeah, we're kind of getting some sort of evidence to suggest that the High Council is already corrupted by politics. That Vanessa Rowe doesn't even want to tell them about this issue. That's a problem. That sort of makes us believe that they're already sort of gone down a darker path, or at least gone down a more political and corrupted path, for sure. Darth Fracas says, but why can May use it without Osha? And Osha used to be a Padawan. May is nowhere near. Well, May's clearly gotten some training from this Zipperface character, so that's how she's able to wield the Force. Osha hasn't been training for 6 years, so she's kind of rusty, to say the least. So May's been training for the last 6 years, and Osha hasn't. Or however long May's been training, we don't know. But Osha hasn't. She's kind of cut herself off from the Force, so now she's kind of just now tapping back into it. In last episode, you remember when Sol comes to ask her to join the mission, and she's like, you're asking me to join the Jedi again? And she's like, no. And she's like, oh. Like, she really wanted to be asked. So I think we might see her maybe come back to the Jedi by the end of this show. I really don't know. Yeah. I don't know. The Parent Trap was a Disney remake that first came out in the 60s? Really? I didn't know that. The Jedi aren't corrupt, but they are making decisions out of fear, which is them being corrupted by the dark side. No. Fear is a pathway to the dark side. Indeed it is. Your positivity. Oh, sorry. My positive takes are the ones that community. Oh, I already read that. Damn it. Don't tell me you're a Pats fan. Sorry. Hey, if it makes you feel any better, our dynasty's over for the Patriots, and now it's time for somebody else because we suck. I'm not a big football guy anyway. I mean, I'll watch the Pats, but I'm more of a basketball guy. Yeah. Where was I? Catherine says, I don't remember a lot of hate for the first Star Wars. No, not really. I mean, the majority of the consensus was that original Star Wars was amazing. But it still doesn't mean that there weren't people there. And again, they didn't have the platform to do so. Now with social media, everybody has the platform to speak their own mind, and they think that their opinion is better than everybody else's. Newsflash, my opinion means nothing to you. Your opinion means nothing to Joe Schmo down the street. Like, our own opinions are our own opinions. They're for ourselves. And that's kind of the deal here. We just have a bunch of people who have the same, or at least semi-same opinion of loving Star Wars. Yeah. Connor says, oh, wait, sorry. My Pistons are terrible. Boo the Celtics. Yeah, that's unfortunate. How about this, Robert? Your Pistons had 14 wins this season. The Celtics had 16 in the playoffs. And you guys just fired your coach too. Okay, sorry. Okay. Too far into basketball. My fault. Get back on track here. There's actually a lot of positive Star Wars channels out there with constructive criticisms. Yeah, there's a ton of them. The only problem is they don't get as much attention because they're not clickbaiting people with negative stuff. And that's the problem. Yeah, that's the big problem. Those positive channels should be pushed out more. I personally believe, not just because I am I'm just a positive. No, I actually believe that those positive channels, not even myself, those other ones included, should be pushed out more than the negative ones. It's just negative ones are the ones that fuel the fire, so to speak. Yeah. Oh no. Do you ever watch breakdowns for channels like Screen Crush, NR, Heavy Spoilers, etc.? NR, Heavy Spoilers, etc. It would be fun to do a watch along together sometime. I sometimes watch some of their breakdowns. Screen Crush, Heavy Spoilers, I definitely did sometimes. Screen Crush, not so much. I don't know what NR stands for, though. Again, abbreviations suck, guys. Suck. Unless they're Star Wars. Yeah, unless they're Star Wars related. Yeah. But do I watch other breakdown videos? Not usually, because I'm up for like 6 hours making a breakdown video, then I go to sleep. So I'm not really watching other people's breakdown videos. But some of them make some pretty good ones. Before I started my YouTube channel, I did what? New Rockstar? Okay, yeah, I do know who they are. I just didn't, for some reason, it didn't click in my head. Yeah. Until the internet is when the hate for Star Wars started. I don't think it started when the internet came out. I think the internet just gave those people the ability to speak. Yeah, and before they didn't. Yeah. It should be should be common sense, like you said, but it isn't. You would think. Jedi Hangout says, you are one of the most positive Star Wars YouTubers out there. I appreciate that, but I honestly, there's a lot more than just me, but I appreciate it. An awesome YouTube Star Wars positive podcast is called Krypton to Alderaan. That's a pretty great name. Never heard of it, but that's awesome. That's cool. That is cool. Qui-Gon's Ghost says, we taught people, what? I wish we taught people that it's okay to not like something that somebody else does and that doesn't make you wrong. Oh, 100% doesn't make you wrong. The only problem is those people who don't like something are attacking other people for liking it. That's the issue. And it sometimes goes the other way too. I'm not saying that this is like a one-way street. Some people who like something crap on people for not liking it. Either way is wrong. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Explore the Force says, Mike, I had the same experience after the first 2 episode premiere with all the hate. Sucks that people are awful. Great community here. I appreciate that. And yeah, there's a lot of hate. Look at all the comment sections on all the videos. On my channel, on every channel. It's just a mixed bag. I like that the majority of the comments on my channel are more positive, but there are a ton of just absolute negative ones. Chris says, what I don't like is that there are naysayers that make their comments and predictions of what's going to happen and what direction this show and the fandom is going to go with concrete truth, without a doubt. I don't like it. Yeah, a lot of people talk in facts when they're just lying. And it really pisses me off. Like, most of what we do, what I do here, is speculation and breaking down whatever. We do a lot of fun stuff here. We like to do giveaways. We like to do just fun speculation, games, whatever. But a lot of content creators just speak like they know all. Like they speak like everything they say is a fact, when that's clearly not the case. And they're just lying to their own community. And it's bad. It's gotten really bad. And I don't like it either. I don't like it either. Darkness rises and light to meet it. It's true. You have dark and light in the Star Wars fandom. The problem is the darkness gets more attention, so to speak. Holy crap, we've been going for over 2 hours and 15 minutes. Yikes. All right, let me just read some of these really quickly. Actually, while I do that, tell me in the chat, was this the best episode of The Acolyte so far? I know you guys gave me a ranking out of 10, but is this better than episode 1 and episode 2 and episode 3 even? I think it is, certainly. I think this episode was the best. I think next episode might even still be the best. But, we'll see. Okay. We should be able to talk it out as Star Wars community without having to convince somebody that they are wrong or they are right. Just fans conversing. Yeah, but that's not the case. It's like a war zone in all these comment sections. I'd like to make a place where it's like not allowed to just yell at somebody, but you can't do that. You can't censor people like that. So that's the problem. It's almost nearly impossible to just have this open forum. I guess the Discord that we have, if you guys are not in the Discord, there's a Discord in the description below to the people who love Star Wars. That is kind of a place where you can just talk and have a nice conversation about Star Wars without people just crapping all over you. I guess that's sort of a sanctuary place. But anywhere else online, it's just a war zone at all time. And if you put your opinion out there, you're going to get so much shit. So much shit. Yeah. Rebels is hand down some of the best Star Wars content ever, period. I agree with that statement. I love Rebels. No one disliked Star Wars in 1999 or Empire. They started disliking on Return of the Jedi. Yes and no. Obviously, the Ewoks were depending on how old you were, I guess, if you liked the Ewoks or not. But yeah, I agree. I get you. Hate, dissing, dissent, and attack all equals likes, subs, and social media status. Yeah, and that's just sad. It's broken. It's not how it should work. Chris says, everyone has their own opinion and has the right to express that, but it's your opinion and not the law. Other people may have differing opinions from you, and it's not wrong to express those either. Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's no problem in expressing your opinion. It's when you start attacking other people. It's like, that's when it becomes the issue. Yeah. Yeah. Kimir is just taking us to a good place. Oh, okay. Let's just go with him then. Yeah. They are just sad people making money off of depression and hate. Seriously? Yeah, it's sad. I'd way rather not do that. Yeah. Yeah. I think Koril died in the fire. Me too. But we'll see. We shall see. Zipperface's entrance is one of the most badass things I've ever seen. It is. And it's up there with one of the greatest entrances in Star Wars. Obviously, Vader's entrance in A New Hope is so iconic, but it's not like, it's just an entrance. He just walks in the room. This was like an entrance, a real legit entrance, and it was awesome. Darth Maul's entrance comes to mind in Phantom Menace. That's awesome. Yeah, there's some pretty great entrances, but this is, yeah, true. True. Oh my god, I just got to when you guys told me to go pee. Oh my god. Okay. Fearless says, oh, that brings up a question I had for the longest time. Why did Anakin wear dark robes? Well, Anakin wears dark robes in Revenge of the Sith for the same reason that Luke does in Return of the Jedi. They're almost struggling with the dark side and the light, and it's conveyed in their outfits. It's pretty much just visual storytelling from George Lucas, and it's genius. It's absolutely genius. It's like Darth Vader being in an all-dark suit. He's the bad guy. It's immediately, from anybody who doesn't even speak English, will know immediately that that's probably the bad guy. He's wearing the dark clothes. It's just kind of a contrast between dark and light. Yeah. Plagueis would tie it into the Phantom Menace. Oh yeah, it would. And it would be awesome. I'm thinking it would be tenebrous, and it would be cool to have a second season that would introduce a younger Darth Plagueis and continue it with Palpatine in future seasons. I'd love to see that. I don't know if that's the route that they're going to go with this show, but I would love to see it go that way, for sure. Nothing will stop the haters. Nothing. Yeah, no, nothing's going to stop them. My only point to that is if you stop interacting with them, or if you stop fanning their flames, fueling their fire, then they might just go away. You know? We've had a almost 2.5 hour stream today. There's barely been anybody in here that I've even noticed out of the corner of my eye that's said anything negative, or at least attack anybody. And that's perfect. Like, that's how it should be. If they don't like it, they don't have to come. Oh man, I'm not ready for a convo between Force Ghost, Anakin, and Luke. Oh, it would be so amazing. It would be amazing. Dead Mike says, new sub here, and I'm looking forward to the positive Star Wars content. Well, I appreciate that, Dead Mike, but my name is Mike too, so I'm hoping that you're not just me, but Dead. But we'll see. We'll see. Do you think this is the first time they've seen a red lightsaber? Yes. I mean, probably, yeah. Unless they saw it, unless the Jedi Archives has a red lightsaber that they're just holding on to. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I hope so. I hope not. I mean, I hope they haven't seen one before, and this is like the shocking moment of realizing what's going on. Yeah. Robert says, Kylo Ren wears a helmet out of shame for what he is doing, basically, which is conveyed through the comics and the film's novelizations. Can't remember which one at this point, LOL. Yeah, no, Kylo Ren wears the mask for a reason, but he doesn't, have to wear the mask. That's more so what I'm saying. I don't think Kylo Ren or Darth Zipperface has to be wearing this mask. I think it's more of a option. Yeah. Melon, what's up, Melon? Says, and we don't understand who May or the other is. Why does May want revenge on these 4 Jedi? Well, that's kind of explained in episode 3. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, right now, 61% of you guys say no, Yoda will not be in this show. That's pretty crazy to me. I think he will be. Even if it's just a very short cameo, I think he will be. Indeed. The Boys episode tonight, I'm not going to watch season 4 as it comes out. I'm a pretty big fan of The Boys. I like the first 3 seasons, but I'm probably just going to wait till it's all out at the same time. I'm going to probably have to rewatch season 3 and then rewatch season 4, or watch season 4. Yeah, but I'm not going to watch it. Darth Shredder says, "You are absolutely correct. I bet anyone who has seen my comments would be surprised to hear that I don't actually like the Acolyte." That is actually surprising, Shredder, because I have been reading your chats. And that's perfectly okay. And I'm glad you're not a very just hateful person. I don't know. Coming after people in the chat, I guess. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Actually, some people had issues with Empire Strikes Back when it first came out. Not their Star Wars. No joke. Yeah, I have heard that, actually. I've seen interviews, actually, of people on the street coming out of Empire going, oh, like not actually liking Empire Strikes Back, which is crazy. I've heard the comparison between Kimir in this episode and with May and Yoda and Luke in Empire Strikes Back, both pretending to be simpletons to get the sense of what their apprentice is really like. I have heard that too. Somebody commented that on one of the videos. I have heard that. That's pretty cool. Like Kimir acting dumb and stupid on purpose, like Yoda did in Empire Strikes Back, to sort of just get a feel out for who Luke is and why he's actually there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like it. I like it a lot. Abeloth will be in Ahsoka Season 2. I think so, too. I hope so, too. That'd be awesome. Abeloth has been set up perfectly. Half-Life says, as positive even means anything in that context. As if positivity means anything in that context. In what context? Knights of Ren connection with the new Sith? I don't think so. Obviously, it looks very similar to Kylo's mask, but I don't think so. I'm watching The Boys today. It's pretty good start to season 4 so far. A lot of great shows on right now. Yeah. From The Boys to The Acolyte to House of Dragons to even shows like The Bear starting up. June's a pretty crazy month for television. Yeah. Indeed. Baylan Skoll was the best thing about Ahsoka. Rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. Yeah. He's one of the coolest new characters in Star Wars, like recent new characters. He's unbelievable. And yeah, it's sad that Ray Stevenson's passed away, but the character's going to keep going, hopefully, in some sort of way. I'm sure they'll figure something out. Will they recast Baylan? I think so. I think they just got a lot more story to tell for the character, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Can't wait to see how Abeloth looks in live action. Me too. And maybe there's a connection between Darth Zipperface and Abeloth, but we'll see. All right, guys, I got to get on out of here. We've been going for 2.5 hours. Absolutely insane. I appreciate all of you. I hope this cliffhanger has like the greatest resolution ever. We get this amazing lightsaber duel next week. It would be so awesome. But with that being said, watch out for a video tomorrow. Maybe about Kimir, maybe about Ki Adi Mundi, just to explain the whole situation. I haven't made up my mind yet, but watch out for a video tomorrow and a live stream, obviously, Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday. For the rest, Saturdays and Tuesdays and Thursdays for the rest of your lives. So watch out for those live streams. Of course, if you have not yet, smash a like on this stream. Hit that subscribe. Hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face. Show up with the recommended feed of yours. Yeah. If you guys are not yet in the Discord, go join the Discord in the description below. If you're not a member yet, think about becoming a member. Huge shout outs to a bunch of people here today. Huge shout out to Jedi Hang Up for the very generous $10 super sticker. Martha for the very generous $5 holla. David for the very generous $2. Vegas for the very generous $2. And we got 3 new members. Political Drain, Scott West, and Mr. B. I appreciate all you guys more than you'll ever know. And appreciate all you other people for just watching. But let's end this poll. See where you guys are at with Yoda being in the Acolyte. 62% of you say no. Interesting. We shall see. We shall see. Jeff says, I'm cooking, but also listening to this. But what Buddy was talking about is that they're taking a lot of stuff from Kylo Ren comics, and Kylo Ren himself is sprinkled into the Acolyte. Ooh, interesting. I've read some of the Kylo Ren comics just in passing, and I've heard a lot of information about the Knights of Ren, but they've been around for quite a long time. I don't know if this guy's going to have any influence on that, but we'll see. Tiffany says, I've been here the entire time just listening, going on family trip to Miami tomorrow. So super busy packing. Awesome stream, Mike. I appreciate that. Have a lot of fun in Miami tomorrow. That's awesome. That is a lot of fun. That sounds awesome. No, Connor, you demand. All right. I got to get on out of here. I appreciate all of you. Hope you have a great rest of your evening. Smash a freaking like on this stream. And may the force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate every last one of you. I mean, we're talking about like an incredible episode of The Acolyte here and a possibility of coming up on another incredible episode of The Acolyte here. So I'm excited. I hope you are too. But I hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.